It's you. It's my birthday. Hi. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? I have a pretty kitty. And if we hit so basically today every time we get $100 more on the donations, I will pick up the cat and show her to you. And the first one of those is going to be the reveal of the cat because unless you're on Patreon or you happen to have seen her jump up over here when I'm live with Jimmy or whatever, then you haven't seen my cat. And she's been here for like a month. And she's not like psyched about being picked up and handled, but she like is pretty tolerant. Like we feel like we're pretty lucky about how tolerant she is. So I feel like we're ready now for me to pick you up, for me to pick her up, pick you up, little girl, and show her off to the stream. So I wanted to share with you just about that. Sorry, I burped. I thought that I knew what it meant to be a cat owner and a goth. You know, got my tendency to wear black, and then I got a long-haired cat, and so I don't know if you can see this. Probably not at all. Oh, you can kind of see it there. This is like a 4-inch long cat hair, a white cat hair. So that's a fun thing that is just part of how I live my life now. It's a totally different spectrum. Hello, Drea. Hello, Trinket. Hello, Noah. There's Merlin. Hello, hello. Kitty Tick is going to be driving, but then will be with us later. Hello. That's it for Merlin. That's it for the website chat. Hello. And then YouTube chat. Welcome to the YouTube chat. We've got Destiny's channel, John. We've got the Bastille, Ghost Pepper Lollipop, which I still think is one of the best fucking usernames. Hello, we got Nikki, sorry. Zach, we got Pup Merlin. Oh, we got Merlin in both chats, I see. Gozer, hello. Welcome in. Yeah, it's my birthday today. Speaking of that, I wonder how much longer I can keep this before it gets totally fucked up. I have like 2 of them. There we go. And I can wear it over my actual glasses. Look at that. Wow. Happy birthday. It's my birthday. Anybody else watch Thor Ragnarok? Hey, pretty girl. I gotta be better about actually calling. I'm not terrible about calling her name, but I address her as, hey, pretty girl. Took my first dose of tea on Monday. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Your username is Abby, but I don't know if that's what you're going by anymore. But that's amazing. Congratulations. Hello, Ben. Hello, Dorothy. Dorothy Slutman. Fucking amazing name. Oh, boy. Chapik. What's up? Hello. Kim Collects. What's up? You have some amazing clothing items on your wish list. Yeah, there's a lot of really neat stuff on throne.com. The one thing is that I'm pretty sure it's all like Chinese stuff because there have been a couple of times where I have bought the biggest size or I've had the biggest size on the wish list and that it's not fit me. And like, to be clear, I'm not overweight. I'm like this close to being overweight for my height and everything, but I'm not overweight. So it's like, I'm like, how is this a large? And it's choking me out. I don't understand. So Dean, it was my 25th yesterday. Happy birthday. There are a lot of March birthday, like way more March birthdays than I would have imagined. It's like, okay, you know, there's that thing where the majority of birthdays in America, at least, I don't know if this applies anywhere else, but the majority of birthdays, or maybe not the majority either, that whatever, a lot of fucking birthdays, a large amount of birthdays are in September because people are having sex over the winter and then they have babies in the late fall. But it's like my birthday's in March, which makes sense because my parents were teenagers and my mom got pregnant over summer break. So I'm like, it's a little bit interesting how many other March birthdays there are. I think Jovan is a March birthday, Matt Dillahunty, Josie Caballero, Jimmy Snow, like a lot of us who work at the line actually have, this is going to keep falling down my face also. That's the one thing about wearing my actual glasses. I wonder if I could just get like one singular piece of tape and just tape it. Just like tape it, right? Where am I? Oh my God. Touching my glasses directly. Just right there. Piece of tape. Yeah. Ooh, Destiny is approaching a 1-year trans anniversary in June. Fucking congrats. Hell yeah, dude. They deliberately sized clothes small to make us feel bad for having normal figures. I mean, so I do think genuinely, like, when it comes to clothes that are straight out of China, that people are just smaller in that part of the world. Like, it's this well-known thing, like, oh, Americans are obese. And it's like, well, you know, the quality of our food's kind of shit and everything. And, you know, the cheap stuff is the stuff that's easy to end up like, whoa, what's going on back here? My hair is caught in something. Okay, there we go. We fixed it. But Aries to the line pipeline. Yeah. Well, Aries is only the latter half of the month. I regret that I know this, but the first half of the month are Pisces. So I guess Matt and I are for sure Arieses. Am I allowed to say, hey, pretty girl? No. Only my partner is allowed to say things like that. And he doesn't take the liberty to do that. So I was one of those September babies, though I celebrate my rebirthday in June. Fuck yeah. Yeah, it seems like over the summer is not an uncommon time for people to do... yeah, because Destiny has also her trans anniversary in the summertime. For there a jolly good NB, for there a jolly good NB, for there a jolly good NB. That nobody can deny. It's true. Nobody ever says no to me. No one has ever said no to me. No one has ever fired me. No one has ever denied me anything. So true, bestie. OMG. So true. Some of those things might be true, but I think most of them are not. Most of my families are Leos and Virgos, so I know what's up around the holidays. Exactly. Scooch myself around here. There we go. That's a little bit better. Oh gosh. What's everybody been up to this week? Love the show. Happy birthday. Thank you. Yeah. I definitely want to keep maintaining the nice, chill vibes on the stream. I feel like we get so much stress everywhere else. Occasionally we might have things that are like, I have political commentary to make, but a lot of the time I don't. And I would rather like just experience things in my life and talk to you about them and maybe talk about movies and TV shows. Like, oh, bro, I had an amazing realization earlier that maybe this is me being white and therefore having just like a limited scope of analysis on these things. But I was thinking about Invincible. And because we've fucking season 4, there's a new episode today. I just realized that if my partner and I get along during therapy tonight, we will be able to watch it. Yes. Okay. Fucking hype for Invincible, which also means that I really don't have any time to exercise later. Cool. Anyway, so Invincible in the comics, he's just white. He's a white man. In the show, however, he is voiced by Steven Yeun, who is Asian, and Mark is half Asian. Like his mom is Asian and his dad is a white man, also an alien. So there's that. But I just realized that there's a really interesting identity component to, like, Mark is torn between two worlds kind of, and he kind of like identifies as human even though he is half Viltrumite. And I was I was thinking about this because I was thinking about Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, so like, okay, so spoilers. I'm going to avoid the part of that that's really deeply spoilery and just talk about something that you could know from season 1. Season 1 of Invincible. Because Mark is like torn between these two identities of like, his dad wants him to follow in his footsteps and be a Viltrumite and do all of their cultural things. But Mark was raised as a human and he like identifies as human. He says, these are my people. This is my planet. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to serve them. And he's biracial. Wow. I was like in the shower earlier, like, whoa. He's biracial, and there's no racial identity politics in the show at all, like with that regard anyway. Like there's nothing in Mark's storyline that has anything to do with him being half Asian. Like everything else is, well, there's like one remark made by one of the villains. He's like, "Oh, what are you, diversity hire?" or whatever, what the fuck he says. But yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. That there's, within biracial people and any racially diverse, that's not the right word. Racially diverse, an individual, no, I don't think an individual can be racially diverse even if they are mixed race. I'm just trying to say they're mixed race or biracial or whatever you want to call it. So like, yeah, there is an identity component where you might be raised in one culture but identify with a different culture, or you might like identify with the culture you were raised in even if one of your parents is a different race or whatever, a different ethnicity. So anyway, that was just a fun little thing that I noticed. To be clear, this is a sci-fi show where not everyone is human. Yeah, so Ben, Invincible is based off a comic series. Oh, somebody just became a member. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate that. I don't take those membership donations and add them to the total for the donations, but I still very much appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your green name in the chat. But yeah, so Invincible is a comic book series. Not everyone is human. There are alien races. There are like mutants and stuff. Kind of anyway. So yeah, not everybody's human. In fact, the primary character is half alien. Kind of in the way that, like, in Dragon Ball Z, how like the Saiyans are like basically gone. Half Asian and half mustache. No, that's crazy. That's out of pocket right there. Anyway, yes. So anyway, yeah, Mark is half alien because his dad is an alien who is sent to Earth. And so it's like Dragon Ball Z, yeah, where like this alien comes to Earth and he integrates into Earth and he has a child with a human woman, and that child is like as strong as an original Saiyan, if not like stronger than an original Saiyan. In some ways, Gohan is so fucking OP. Like they had to make him a fucking weird nerd in order to have the story be anything other than Gohan beats everybody all the time, every time. Anyway. It's Mama! Hello, Mama! Why is there no mustache emoji? That's a great question. Destiny's Child says, I have the heart of a dragon. And it really, I almost quoted a book and did a dragon voice because it's a dragon who does it, but I don't want to thrash my throat right at the beginning of this show. I already spent like an hour yesterday singing and struggling with my voice, so I don't need to kind of like push it too hard today. But I thank you. I thank you very much. And I agree. I too have the heart of a dragon. Coderho said, not even the people that say they will not like or share. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm not getting fatter. The world is just shrinking around me. Faulty says, I've been chilling this week, meeting people in my industry, seeing new horror films, new to me anyway, and getting some good work done on making a video game. Solid times personally. Fuck yes. I'm so excited for you. We're saying, sorry, Mama, I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. Is that what's going on in the YouTube chat right now? Maybe I'll binge next time I have Amazon. I feel like Invincible is worth it. If you don't want to do an Amazon Prime subscription, I would recommend just reading the omnibus. Like, it's really good and it's pretty similar to the show. I will say the show is better. Like, the original comic writer, Ryan, whatever his name is, he is one of the co-creators of the actual show. So it's good to know that like the creative decisions, like where we are expanding relationships or where we are truncating things, like to know that the original creator is part of those choices. I think that's part of what makes a good adaptation, right? Like you don't want a one-to-one translation, or there's not, I don't know what the word is for that. A recreation. You don't want a total recreation with any show. And I find this such an interesting topic because so many things are being adapted right now. Game of Thrones is an adaptation. House of the Dragon's an adaptation. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is an adaptation. Invincible's an adaptation. I think The Boys might also be an adaptation from a comic book series. Yeah. Oh, Robert Kirkman. Yeah. Why did I think Ryan? Is there some? There's like 3 writers on Invincible, and maybe one of their name is Ryan. Or maybe I was like I was watching an interview with Ryan Coogler right before this, so maybe my brain just got kind of borked. The world of Invincible just kind of assumes all the comic book universe stuff exists, like ghosts and curses and magic and super technology and aliens and Martians and teleportation and mutants and all this stuff that Marvel or DC would spend 100 years populating into a universe. I think Viltrumites should be called Filtrumites because they all have mustaches. Fucking kill me. Ryan Otley is the artist of the comic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I knew that I was getting a Ryan in there somewhere. Video game adaptations have been so good recently. You know what's crazy is that I so often forget that Resident Evil was an adaptation.
Mealy got a tier 1 subscription.
Thank you, Mealy, Mealy, for the tier 1 sub on the website chat. That's awesome. I really appreciate you. I'll go ahead and add that to the total. Again, every $100 we get today, I will pick up my cat and force her to be on camera. She's so fucking cute. Like, it's like unbearable how cute she is. She lures you into the trap. Can you guys see? I know I'm very white, but like I've got just literally I'm covered in little cat. She's very gentle, except for her biting. Her biting is a little bit crazy. Actually, it's like not too bad today. Yesterday was a little bit more red, but today is pretty much fine. She definitely bites too hard, but other than that, she's very gentle, even when she's kicking. Did we get a cat reveal on YouTube yet? No, we haven't had a cat reveal on YouTube yet. Today's the day. If you guys listen, if we don't get at least $100 today, it's my birthday. I'm going to be so sad. Not really. I'm not going to be that sad. There's like 40 people in here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate that. I didn't put anything about birthday in the title, but I did say let's celebrate. So I wonder if maybe there's going to be fewer people here because I don't know. Should I put something ridiculously clickbaity in the title? Should I put something ridiculous like, I don't know. What should I put in the title to make more people come hang out in here? Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I wonder if it's easier to adapt a comic book to a screenplay versus a novel. Possibly, at least in part. It's like some of the storyboarding is literally already done, you know? There are some scenes in the show that are like straight up just lifted out of the comics. Like there was just this season, there was one of those where I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty much exactly like almost shot for shot what it looks like in the comics. Yeah. So you just kind of already have an idea of some of the blocking, and maybe you choose to go in a different creative direction than the comics did, but yeah, I mean, it's just still interesting. And as well, I'm not saying I won't celebrate, by the way. I'm not saying I will not be celebrating. I'm just saying that I might change the title to make more people click it. Lux reveals to be an actual dragon kitten. Listen, I do love it when my cat curls up and I think she looks like a little dragon, but you know, probably because dragons are often stylized off of either cats or dogs. What's something clickbaity but not totally inaccurate? Transgender atheist refuses to debate because it's technically true. You just chillin'. That's so true. Have you watched the latest episode of The Amazing Digital Circus? I haven't seen any Amazing Digital Circus. The Witcher is an adaptation. Yeah. And I people who are fans of the game, I think, thought that the first season was really good. I didn't know anything about the Witcher series, and I watched the first season, and I fucking hated it. But I think that might be partially because y'all on the internet led me to believe that that was going to be a lot more gay than it was. And then I'm like, what is with all of this like really overt heterosexuality? And then there's like the okay, a show has to have like an A plot and a B plot for a given episode. Like it's just typically we shift from one situation to the next. One of them is maybe the more primary issue. Sometimes as a gag, the B plot gets abandoned. So,
Oh, yeah.
I did not like, though, how the A plot and B plot in the season 1 of The Witcher was like, it's basically like these events happened and then these events happened, but they interposed them together as though they're happening simultaneously. And at the end of the series, you learned like, oh shit, this thing that was happening concurrently, A plot, B plot, was actually more like this. I really did not like that choice. But yeah, I guess The Witcher was a book series, and then that was adapted into a video game series, and then that got adapted into a TV show. So I don't know. You're like so many layers deep at that point. It's like Just Chatting trans stream refusing to debate, or like, I don't know what I don't know. Maybe I'll just take the Let's Celebrate out of it and just leave it Just Chatting trans stream and see what that does. Thank you so much, Future Gravy. I was a little bit distracted there for a second for your $20 super chat. Appreciate that very much. Let me put a little love heart on it. There you go. You got a little love heart. And that brings us up to $25. Just so you guys know, I don't actually get super chat money until like a month from now, and YouTube takes up to 40% of your donations. If you would like to donate directly at my website, luxander.net/live, that is a more direct way to support. Ooh. Thank you for a follow-up super chat from Future Gravy, a $5 super chat. Forgot to put a message in the last one. Happy birthday. Wearing my Trans Pride TST shirt today just for you. Fuck yes. I don't know what TST is, but I'm so hyped for the Trans Pride. Hell yeah, trans rights. Can we get a trans rights in chat? Yeah, trans rights. Kitty cat, kitty cat. Kitty, kitty cat, kitty cat. The timeline in the Witcher TV show confused me a lot. Yeah, I just wasn't a fan. Like, I guess I spoiled the reveal at the end of the season. But aren't they like 4? They're like into season 4 now, and fucking Liam Hemsworth has replaced Henry Cavill. I don't know. Anyway. The Satanic Temple. True. I don't know why we're bringing up the Satanic Temple, but they seem pretty legit. Do you like ADC? Are you asking Amazing Digital Circus? I haven't seen it. Trans rights. Hypes in chat for trans rights. Hypers. I need to double check. Can you guys tell me in the YouTube chat, those of you who are members, do you guys have the custom emojis? Can we get some custom emoji spam in the YouTube chat? Because I need to like update those or make sure that they're the right ones. Do we have hypers? Hypers in chat? Trans rights. I'm dyslexic. True. This trans does right. Oh my gosh. I've got stuff to talk about. Like sometimes I'm like, I come to stream and I'm like, I didn't do enough in the past week. Where is those at? They should just be in your... There we go. Fuzzy Logic found them. They're in your emoji menu. They should be up there. Okay, there's only 4 of them. I think that I might only have 4 of them unlocked at this stage. But fuck yeah. Okay, so we have Peppo Hug, we have Wave, we have Pepe Hands, and Peppo Comfy. Okay, cool. Cool. Those are good emojis. Those are some solid emojis. No hypers in chat for the YouTubers, but that's okay. I read that we share 97% of our genetics with pigs, but I'm pretty sure we can't have half human, half pig babies. I really hope not, at least. I can't even imagine how a completely alien species would work. Not that I wouldn't be willing to try. Right. Many, many years ago, I read an article by PZ Myers at Pharyngula, Free Thought Blogs, and it's so crazy how, like, there's just 2 or 3 PZ Myers blogs from 15 years ago that just live rent-free in my head. This is one of them that it's ridiculous that in franchises like Star Trek that there are human alien hybrids. They're like, it's like do you guys know PZ Myers is a biologist, so this is like his field where I'm getting this information from. People are not always genetically compatible. Like humans, sometimes you can have two adults who are both fertile. They both are fully capable of having babies, but when they have sex, their gametes, they don't recognize each other. Like there's just some slight difference where they don't mesh and they can't reproduce together. So if within one human species, you occasionally, now it's not very common from what I remember, but occasionally you'll have these situations where two human beings can't reproduce together because their genetic material is just like, I don't know what that is, then there's no way that we would be able to reproduce with aliens who probably have different chromosomes. But then again, the fact that we're running into humans that are humanoid, that have 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth, right? Like this itself is kind of silly. Ben says the stats about shared DNA, like the whole 60% of DNA with bananas, etc., can be extremely misleading because you can get to like 50% just by having mitochondria. Okay, fair. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. You've watched all of TNG, right? They explain why all humanoid life is compatible in The Chase. I have seen all of TNG, but it's been a long time since I've really sat and watched all of it. In fact, we went back and watched something from season 1. My friend Gayfesh does. Whoa.
Noah Darkly Years gave Trinket a tier 1 subscription.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the donos. That's so kind of you guys today. Tier 1 sub gifted. That's a $5 dono. $35. If we get $65 more, then I'll go get my cat. Is she even in here? No, she's not even in here. Nope, she's chilling somewhere else. I'll go find her. If she's sleeping, I'll wake her up, Basically, ancients seeded the galaxy with their DNA in Star Trek. Okay, fucking panspermia. Okay, sure. I guess. Like, yeah. Most human genetic drift ends in sterility. Unsurprising. Noah said earlier, my little diva is a bad biter as well. Really good with her claws, but she will take a chunk out of you if you let her. Yeah, she, like, honey, with the all caps in the YouTube chat, pull it back. Just pull it back a little bit. Just pull it back a little bit. What was I saying? Oh yeah, my cat. She's very gentle.
Oh, yeah.
With her claws. And even with her back feet when she's kicking you, she's very cool about it. But she's a chomper. And it's not just on people. Like, there's been times where I've gotten her really riled up with a toy, and then she'll find, like, a cardboard box. I pretty much always leave at least one cardboard box on the floor when I have a cat. She, like, went over to the cardboard box and was like, with her, like, back teeth. She just needs to get her energy out somewhere. So, yeah, consequently, sometimes she does bite a little bit too hard. Thank you, Ken, for the $5 super chat. Have a great birthday. I got transgender heart stickers I put on my cell phone and on my Steam Deck. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Just a reminder, everybody, that YouTube takes, like, a lot of your money when you super chat. So the best option for donating is directly through the website, luxander.net/donate or /subscribe. But super chats are still very much appreciated. They're just not as immediate of a thing, and YouTube ends up pocketing some of your money. So that's kind of obnoxious. But I know, I think I actually had them deactivated for a long time. And then I realized, like, there are probably people who will donate through super chats but won't come over to the website. So even if I'm technically losing like 30% of the donation, that's still like 70% more money than I would have gotten if the person just didn't donate. So that's why I turned them back on. But it's still a little bit of, like, I don't know, it's just kind of inconvenient. Mike says, it's good we can't procreate with aliens. which species in their right mind would want to infect the galaxy with more of us? Fair enough, I guess. There's nothing wrong with humanity inherently. You know, there's nothing wrong with humanity inherently. It's just that we have a select few people who guide the course of our society, and they have brainwashed a bunch of us into being unsympathetic, unempathetic robots. So, you know. I would love an ice cold root beer right now, but alas, I live in Europe and everyone here thinks it's gross and tastes like children's medicine. What? Oh, that's such a bummer. Root beer is delicious. Yeah, I'm rocking the A&W Zero Sugar root beer. I've discovered zero sugar sodas recently, and I can't get enough. It's definitely a good way to curb your sweet tooth. Cheers, my cat Balana. I know that name, Balana. Is that like Deanna Troy's mom's name? Is currently tuckered out from zooming and sleeping on my lap. Hell yes. My cat doesn't really like being on my lap. She likes my partner's lap, but not really mine. But she gets the zoomies. She be running. Balana is the Klingon from Deep Space Nine. Oh, that might be it. I haven't seen very much Deep Space Nine, TBH. Zero sugar Barks root beer is amazing. I would have considered that, but I already have zero sugar Dr. Pepper, and I needed a non-caffeinated option for the nighttime. Like right now, where I'm like, I don't want to drink caffeine at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're doing A&W instead. Diet Dr. Pepper tastes exactly like regular Dr. Pepper. No, I don't think that's the case. I think diet sodas are like, they taste too much like aspartame. And while zero sugar sodas do have aspartame in them, they also have Ace K. So, I don't know.
June_Bramley has donated $20. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's my birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm still drinking coffee at 6 p.m. This week I've already been like mildly insomniac. So, yeah, I can't do it. Anyway, thank you so much for the $20 dono. That brings us to $60 dollarinos. 40 more dollarinos, and we get to see Mina. Her name is Mina. I realize I'm doing that thing again where I keep calling her the cat and stuff and not her name. Her name is Mina. Technically, she's named after the protagonist character in Noita, the game Noita, but really it's just a cute little diminutive name. The Klingon from Voyager. Oh yeah, of course, Balana. She's like, she's like half Klingon. Oh my god. She's like half Klingon, half human. I watched the episode about like her going to the afterlife or whatever. I'm a cordon bleu trained chef. That sounds so cool. I like to cook. It takes too much time, but I enjoy doing it usually. So I've seen all of Star Trek Next Generation, but it's been a long time. Oh, like I was saying earlier, my friend Gayfesh, we watched some old Star Trek recently together, and I forgot how sexual the first season of The Next Generation is. But yeah, so I've seen all of The Next Generation. I've seen all of TOS. I've only seen random episodes here and there from Voyager and Deep Space Nine. We watched the whole first season of Starfleet Academy. And then that's pretty much all the Star Trek I've seen. Ooh, the leader of the new coalition of ordered governments in Gears of War is named Mina Jen. Hell yeah, cool. Oh, I don't remember you mentioning this. Here in the UK, there's a sugar tax. So when the law took effect, all the drink companies changed their formulas to make them half sugar, half Ace K,
Ben
except
Jules
Coke
Run
Classic.
has donated $10. Happy birthday, less than 3.
Thank you. I love it says less than 3. That's so cute. Thank you, Ben, for the $10 dono. That's so generous. Hell yes. It's my birthday. That brings us to $70. Cat, 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 cat. I also liked Starfleet Academy. I'm so bummed that there's no flippin'. They're canceling it after season 2. They've already filmed all of season 2, so they're gonna continue with that. But then they canceled it. I'm like, fuck you. This was a really good show. I liked the young adult kind of like. I felt like, I guess until the end of the season, like there's a lot of stuff that I've missed in Star Trek canon. There's, the burn or whatever. I don't know what that is really. I know that the Starfleet Academy takes place after.
Future Gravy has donated $20. Kitty cat time.
Kitty cat time. Thank you for the more $20 donations, Future Gravy. We are now $10 away from the goal, unless I missed a donation. Somebody tell me, did I do my math correctly? I'm kind of just doing math on the fly in my head, and sometimes when you're in the middle of talking, doing math is kind of difficult. But thank you so much. Sorry, Fuzzy, I'm not trying to spoil anything. So all I'm saying is the problems at the beginning of Starfleet Academy are smaller scale, and some of the problems later in the season get bigger scale, and I don't want to spoil it or anything. But yeah, just basically. So, but I enjoyed. That should be 100. Wait, where did I miss one? The burn is revealed in Star Trek Discovery. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen Discovery. Where did I miss a dono? Am I going fucking crazy? I also didn't sleep well last night. So, sorry. Calacia! Hello, Calacia. How's it going? I felt the same with Firefly. Have you guys seen that they're doing a Firefly thing? They're doing a Firefly animated show. I kind of just feel like stop trying to capitalize on my fucking nostalgia, you piece of shit. Honestly, I've seen all of Star Trek Enterprise as well. I forgot about Star Trek Enterprise. Yeah. I think I was in the middle of a sentence, but I forgot. I just liked Starfleet Academy, and I'm really bummed out that it's getting fucking canceled. I just liked that it pulled it back to a different scale of problems. There's Bramley. I recognize you guys from the line chat, so thanks for hanging out here. I appreciate you. Hold on, 65 viewers. We have 69 likes right now. Nice. Nice. Did I tell you guys that my cat, I just reminded myself because I kind of stuck my tongue out a little bit. When my cat meows, she goes, meh. She sticks her tongue out like a goat, and it's so funny. Oh my God, she's ridiculous. Firefly anime, it sounds like Hollywood trying to cash in on nostalgia. Yeah, honestly, based on the one video that I saw, it does kind of seem as though this is driven by the cast or I don't know, the trailer or teaser that I saw was Nathan Fillion and all the other actors talking about how they've got all these things ready for the project. They just don't have quote unquote a home for the show, which I think means they don't have a streaming platform that's going to host it yet. They're trying to find someone who's going to buy it up. I'm June Bramley, if you hadn't already assumed. I don't think I made that connection. I recognize Bramley CX because I see you in the super chats all the time. Yeah, okay, the new Firefly is being made by the original cast. They got the rights. Okay, so that makes it feel a little bit less bad, but it also does kind of feel like what are you going to do with this? Are we going to have you have to be going back in time because Alan Tudyk is involved. Spoilers, Alan Tudyk dies in the movie Serenity. So Alan Tudyk is part of it, which means that they're doing it. It's going to be the adventures of the crew of the I can't fucking is the ship the Firefly? Anyway, it's a Firefly class ship. What's the name of the ship? I can't. Jesus Christ. But anyway, so they're doing the adventures of the Firefly crew when they were younger. But all these actors are in their 50s. So do I just have to deal with Sigourney Weaver playing a teenager voice? in all of these new shows, right? Like it throws you out of it when everything else and Quaritch as well. Like I'm not talking any shit on Sigourney Weaver, but in the Avatar movies, Serenity is the name of the ship. Okay, cool. Got it. Thank you. Sigourney Weaver and Quaritch, they both are like playing like recombinants, or they're playing not V characters or whatever. So you've got old man, young body, old lady, teenage body. The voices are incongruent. Is this what you're expecting me to deal with your fucking Firefly show? It like, I don't want to say that the cast are like pathetically trying to relive their glory days, because I feel like that's a really mean thing to say about that group of people. But it does kind of feel like, are you guys not getting work? You guys aren't getting enough work nowadays, and you're having to do this? Because again, I mean, it is a little bit like you're reliving your glory days. It's like you peaked in high school, and are they recasting Shepherd Book? Which one is Shepherd? Wait, hold on. Shepherd. Oh, did he pass? Did he pass? Daryl, no, Shepherd Book. Who is he played by? Ron Glass. Did Ron Glass pass away? Oh, I didn't know that. He passed in 2016. Wow. I can't believe I missed that news. Damn. I don't know, maybe. It depends on like whether the adventures of are occurring like before or after Shepard joined the crew, right? Sorry, we have hearts in chat for my trans brothers and sisters. Trump will be dying very soon. Probably. That's very funny. Thank you for the hearts in the chat. The Avatar movies were terrible. 9 hours of film just to say human bad, tree and whale good. I like those movies a lot. And I think that, so obviously, like, we're doing this thing now with movies where the complete thesis of your movie is not finished in one movie, right? We're serializing movies now. That's what happened with the Marvel, it's like, it's as though it's a TV show, but each episode comes out every couple of years and is 2.5 hours long. So the serializing of movies, I think that James Cameron's has fallen into this trap, which is why a lot of people were like, The Way of Water and the Fire one were both kind of the same plot. It's because they were originally one movie and they got split into two movies because of like time or whatever. And so they both have the same underlying plot and the same underlying message. And I think that part of what that message is supposed to drive home is that it is not about being human, that there are humans who disagree with the greed of the corporation, and that who defect, who basically like relinquish their relationship with humanity in order to live a different lifestyle. And I think that the more recent movies, in fact, have been trying to hit on this, that Neytiri is racist against humans, and she is having to cope with, like, her children are genetically partially human, and so she has to deal with that. Like, she is racist against humans, but she is in love with a human. Her children are part human. So I think that there is a message that's supposed to be like, humans aren't the problem, humans aren't bad. It's this like faceless corporation that's bad, and the greed of a faraway authoritarian government, or it's like a pretty much just a corporatocracy, like an oligarchy. What is it called? Is anarcho-capitalism? Yes, of course there are similarities between Avatar and Fern Gully. Is Avatar a trans allegory? Interesting question. No, I don't think so. I have to think about it a little bit. Is there a trans allegory? I think it's more like a racism allegory and like an anti-capitalist story. And there's like some kind of uncomfortable disability stuff in there that I don't really think unobtainium is a horrible name. That's not even the first time the word unobtainium has been used. Hold up. Hasn't it been used? Okay, I don't know if this is true. Let me go to the Wikipedia because fuck the AI overview. Unobtainium is a term used in fiction, engineering, and common situations for a material ideal for a particular application, but impractically difficult or impossible to obtain. Engineering origin. Since the late 1950s, I'm just reading off of Wikipedia right now, aerospace engineers have used the term unobtainium when referring to unusual or costly materials or when theoretically considering a material perfect for their needs in all respects, except that it does not exist. So there's a quote from a glossary of aerospace terms compiled by Woodford Heflin, published in 1958 by the Air University of the U.S. Air Force. And the quote is, unobtainium, noun, a substance having the exact high test properties required for a piece of hardware or other item of use, but not obtainable either because it theoretically cannot exist or because technology is insufficiently advanced to produce it, usually humorous or ironical. So the term unobtainium has existed for like literally 70 plus years, and it has a contemporary popularization section on the Wikipedia. Let's see. It could be sometimes referring to items with limited availability, high-end and desirable products. Parts that are no longer available for old car enthusiasts, for example, could be called unobtainium. Parts for reel-to-reel audio tape recorders, rare vacuum tubes that now cost more than the equipment in which they were fitted. Science fiction. Unobtainium was mentioned briefly in David Brin's 1983 book Startide Rising. Unobtainium is briefly mentioned in Will McCarthy's The Collapsium from 2000. In the 2003 film The Core, unobtainium is the nickname of a 37-syllable long tungsten titanium crystal alloy developed by Dr. Edward Brazelton in order to absorb the extreme pressure and heat of the Earth's molten core and then convert that into usable energy. And then, of course, we have 2009 film Avatar. So the term unobtainium has existed for like a long time, and it has been bandied about in various science fiction stuff for like 50 years or so. I'm sure the Firefly show will be at least entertaining given the cast. I hope so. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. Yes, go drop your likes before you leave. If you got to go do stuff, drop your likes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out. That doesn't really help because we're obtaining it in the movie, so they're saying it's exactly what we needed and thought didn't exist. I mean, I think that in the Avatar movie, unobtainium is meant to be it's unobtainium because there is a barrier in the way. So like typically in these science and science fiction applications, unobtainium refers to something that is like either theoretical or technology is not at the place yet where we could refine that product to do the thing that we need it to do. And I think in the case of Avatar, it is still describing there being a significant barrier to obtaining the object. In this case, like an indigenous group of people who you're trying not to genocide them because that looks bad for your corporate whatever. Anyhow, instead of unobtainium, what if they unironically called it the good stuff? Yeah, that would be very funny. I prefer handwavium. Oh my god, I need to message Gayfesh about this because we watched an episode of The Next Generation recently. I think it was The Next Generation, where some Ferengi were like, we're gonna steal the Enterprise. We're gonna take it. And they Oh yeah, it's like there were like two plots going on. One was like there is a disease that made some of the crew members revert back into being children, and then or like teenagers or whatever. And then there was this other plot of the Ferengi attacking the ship, and there's a scene where Jonathan Frakes, the commander Riker, he was like pretending to explain how the ship worked to a Ferengi, and there's this really long shot of Jonathan Frakes doing a bunch of technobabble, but it's incorrect technobabble. Like he's lying, he's making shit up in the scene to keep the Ferengi busy, and he's just like the intensity on his face is I know that intensity is coming from Jonathan Frakes just desperately trying to remember his lines, which is very funny to me because it's such a long, it's almost like a monologue. It's a long thing of incorrect technobabble. Ridiculous. If you find it, does it then become obtainium? True. Belana Torres from Voyager. Okay, cool. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're well past that by now, but thank you, Penny. Mama says, I would have expected a new Firefly thing to just take place in the Firefly universe, but maybe with some appearances from the original cast. Right. Like, do you think there are no other interesting stories to tell within your universe? You have to do it. But if it's being driven by the original cast, then of course they're thinking of themselves as being at the center of the whole thing and not about telling stories about other characters in the whole universe. Trinket, yeah, okay. In response to me asking if the Firefly cast are not getting enough work nowadays, Trinket says Nathan and Alan are getting plenty of work, and from what I can tell, they are the main ones driving it. Why? Then why? It does feel, it's like, I don't want to accuse them of anything, but it seems like a soulless corporate cash grab and like exploiting my nostalgia and like people trying to relive their glory days. And I don't know, but I don't like it. I honestly don't mind calling the plot MacGuffin resource unobtainium. Scientists name things in silly ways all the time. There's a fungus named after SpongeBob. Isn't there also a fish called Boops? Yeah. It's their scientific name, too. Like, their common names are like bogue or bogue bream. They're a species of sea bream native to the eastern Atlantic. Their scientific name is Boops. Boops. I shit you not. I would never shit you. They've been asked by the fans to do so ever since Fox canceled the series. Then do it 20 years ago. Sorry. Oh, man. Is it then the fans? Is it the fans then that I'm mad at? Because they can't get the fuck over a show that was canceled 20 years ago. Is it the fans who can't get over their shit? I think it's the Relive the Glory Days thing. Since they were canceled, they got the fandom to help them get the movie. Yeah. There's a gene named after Sonic the Hedgehog. They didn't have the rights 20 years ago. I fucking guess. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes the time for things has passed. Don't make a fucking Napoleon Dynamite 2. I'll kill myself. Oh, part of the delay also was trying to get Joss out of it. The cast just bought the rights. Okay. I can kind of see that. Joss Whedon sucks ass, and I can kind of see why they wanted him out of it. But also, like, am I gonna watch it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh my goodness, Kitty is laying some horoscope knowledge on me that I'm not ready for. Joss Whedon said, I'm done with this after the network canceled on him. He was begged for a movie, so he murders everyone and said, Cole, there we're done. Please for once let an artist, he isn't a great person, but the art is respectable, rest. He sold the rights to the actors because they kept bugging him to make more, and it's just not his thing anymore. Yeah, well, I mean, also Joss Whedon is a shitty person. So, like, you know, there's all that. I love the Firefly universe, and I lived the show getting canceled. They didn't also Fox like played the episodes out of order, and like they played 2 episodes in a row the same, like from one week to the next, and like there is a lot of reasons why it didn't succeed, and it's basically like the corporation fucked them over. So I understand to some degree a desire for you know, an opportunity to do it correctly, or you know, whatever. I just again, how are you going to make 50-something-year-old Nathan Fillion sound like a 20-year-old man? Yeah, it's going to be like I don't know if it's going to be anime, but it's going to be animated. Joss understands the universe and how everything is tied together. Yeah, fair enough. I do think that's very funny. Joss is like, yes, I'll sell you the rights. Stop fucking trying to get me to make more Firefly. What is he doing nowadays? What's Joss Whedon's most recent project? Most recent movie. Joss Whedon's last film, fucking the AI thing says Joss Whedon's last film as director was the theatrical cut of the Justice League in 2017. He's not worked in an official capacity in Hollywood since 2021. Well, I mean, we are kind of tired of abusive directors, right? So, cool. Fucking continue to rake in enough royalty money to be more than comfortable for the rest of your life and stop talking. Sounds good. Maybe they might actually have some, you know, Chinese people in this universe that's like 50% Chinese language and culture. Truly. Yeah. Nathan is pretty talented. I know. You know, one of my favorite roles from Nathan Fillion is the Green Lantern in Flashpoint Paradox. Like, legitimately. It's one of my favorite Nathan Fillion performances. I think that Flashpoint Paradox is probably like my favorite DC movie. It's really good. It's really fun. Squirrel Knitter suggests that Firefly would be better as a remake with a new cast. Maybe, potentially. Y'all, for the last like 20 minutes, we've been $10 away from being able to do my very first YouTube reveal of my new cat. We just need one more $10 donation. It's my birthday. And I can go find my cat and force her to be on camera. And maybe you can hear her tiny little mews of protestation. And maybe you can see her go, nah! Truly. She's so silly. Oh my gosh. Fillion as Guy Gardner is some of the best casting in the genre. Yeah, legitimately. Check again. Wait, when did I get a $10 donation? When did that happen? Lux is making the birthday boy argument. Listen, I'm just a birthday boy. You can't punch me. I'm just a birthday boy.
Future Gravy has donated $10. Kitty cat time for real this time.
Yes. Thank you. We did it. Okay. Thank you so much. I've been wanting to do this for several weeks. You know what's really funny is that my partner doesn't want me to, but he's kind of just resigned to the fact that I'm going to do it, which is great. What a great place to be in, where your partner can be disapproving of something that you do and you can still do it and not feel like your life is going to end.
Oh,
Thank you for another $10 from Squirrel Knitter. $110. That means that we're already on the way to showing her a second time. If we get enough money to do it a second time, we'll do it again in like 20 fucking minutes or whatever, however long it takes. Okay, hold on. Real quick, I'm gonna go get her. You didn't show Void yet. So my Void cat actually died in December. May his memory be a blessing. He was wonderful. He passed away right before Christmas, and we just got a new cat. It was about 15 minutes ago, flashed on screen in a little box under the dragon eye. Why? I really don't understand why it just doesn't show me things sometimes. When and how? And of course, I can't scroll back far enough in the chat to see it. That's so fucking annoying. I'm so sorry, guys. So somebody else already donated, so now we're at $120. Is that what I'm hearing? I'm just gonna blindly believe you because I would rather err on the side of too much, like assuming that you donated money that you didn't, rather than like not giving you credit for money that you donated. Anyway. Okay, I'll go find Mina. I'm gonna go get her for you. At the risk of getting into it, what's the argument against showing Kitty on stream? You know what? That's so part of the reason why I'm just doing it anyway is that there isn't an argument. It's just, I don't think I like that. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it anyway, because you generally not liking it is... Okay, Fuzzy has me on track. Okay, we're at 110. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I want to get this right, and then I'll go get her. I swear we'll see her soon. But yeah, if there was like a logical reason, if there was like a good explanation, but I'm like, I'm gonna literally miss out on hundreds of dollars if you are like hardline, don't ever show her on stream. So anyway, here we go. Kitty time. Here she comes. It's Mina. It's Mina. Hey, pretty girl. Hello. Hello. Isn't she just so precious? She's an angel. Tell him you're already donating to the kitten's 401k as she is now an employee. True. True. I am kind of exploiting her for money. So maybe that's what he doesn't like, but look at you, pretty girl. Hello. Hello, my angel. She's never committed a crime in her life. She's never ever committed a crime. Oh, she's surprisingly happy right now. Oh, hello, baby girl. Yeah, she looks kind of crazy. I love her little like Einstein hair situation that we get going sometimes, where she's like, she looks all frazzled and stuff. Like she looks kind of crazy and unkempt. She's also gross. I have to cut her butthole hair. Are you a good girl? Are you my pretty girl? Hey, Mina. Oh yeah, that's you. That's your name. She looks ready to trigger exploding the core of the planet Earth. She's actually really chill right now. She's actually doing really good. Oh, hi, baby. Oh, what a good girl. I guess you can't see her little body. She's got, like... This is how small she is. She's so small compared to Mitternacht, isn't she?
Malo_all has donated $5. Happy birthday. Your cat looks like my cat less than 3.
I think she might be looking at herself on the screen over there. Oh, yeah. Is that you? Is that a kitty cat over there? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna put you down now. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you, my baby girl. Here we go. Yeah, you're a good girl. It's okay. Yes. Okay. She just laid down right there, which means she's not mad. Yes, she's so good. She's so good. I love her. Her fluffy neck ruffle. Yeah. She gets free room and board. Exactly. I saw a post this week that was like, it said non-cat owners don't know that you have to rage bait your cat a little bit every day. And the comments were just full of people who were like, yes, I rage bait my cat, you know, I ruffle him, or like, One person was like, yeah, make sure you kiss them on their little heads when they're annoyed. I'm like, yeah, I do that. And one person said, it's how they pay rent. And I was like, that's true. You live here for free. That's how you pay rent. You pay rent by letting me kiss your little fucking forehead and being a sweet little angel. Listen, I feed her 2 of the 3 times a day that she gets fed. One of those times is wet food. She just got wet food before I started streaming. That's why I was late, actually. And she gets special dental treats every day. So basically, she gets like 16 treats a day. It's like it cleans her teeth. She has to chomp on it, and it like cleans the tartar off her teeth because the vet said that she has gingivitis. But yeah, she's fucking adorable. Poke the grumpy kitty, yeah. Dead Domain is live, so I'm gonna dip. Happy womb eviction day. I just met her, but I already love Mina. Oh. Lux, put the guns away. You're scaring people. This has nothing to do with the donations goals today, but I'm gonna show the guns. Yeah. Donate toward her therapy for when this comes back to haunt her later in life. Yeah, it's gonna haunt her later in life. She's a baby. She's a baby. She's the first long-haired cat that I've ever had to care for. I had a long-haired cat when I was a little kid, but I didn't have to do any of the care. And my mom would just take him to get shaved every few months. So, which dental treats do you give her? I don't remember. I don't look at the package. I bought them and I'm like, oh, I'll buy more of those later. But I don't have to store that information in my head. They're dry treats and they're big. Like they're too big for her to just swallow it. So she has to crunch on it. One of them's chicken flavor and one of them's salmon flavor. I don't remember which one it is. Oh, hold on. I might actually be able to find out because I have this list. My vet sent me home with a list of like, here's a bunch of different ways that you could address her problem. Here's a bunch of special foods that deal with plaque and tartar, or you could do a combination of like water additive and treats to deal with the tartar and plaque separately. And I think the ones that I ended up getting were probably Purina Dentalife Daily Oral Care cat treats. I think those were the treats that I ended up buying for her. So if, you know, for your guys' reference, if your vet ever tells you that the cat needs, it's like either fucking brush her teeth or get her a special food or give her special treats and a water additive. So, or yeah. So like anti-plaque wipes for cats. Fucking, are you kidding me? Oral gel, oral spray. Are you kidding me? Whose cat tolerates you getting up in their mouth like that? I don't think so. I recently heard there's a phenomenon called aggressive cuteness. Oh, yeah, cuteness aggression. When we see something so cute, it activates the aggression centers in the brain, and we say things like, I could just eat you up. I did just comment to my family this week that I have to try not to grief her. Like, I want to grief her all the time. Like, I want to bug her all the time. She's just sitting there, and I'm like, I want to go bop, 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 and start, like, bongoing her belly and things. I don't know why. I try to restrain myself somewhat. My cats pay their rent by not murdering me. Luxander endorsing landlord behavior. You're going down a path I can't follow. Going down a path I can't follow. Yeah. What the fuck is that? Oh, it's fucking Star Wars. Yeah. I was like, wait. Yeah, I know, right? It's actually worse than that. It's not just that that's how she pays rent, but in fact, she's a slave and I can do whatever I want to her. Isn't that right, Mina? As she goes and eats more wet food. That's what I thought. Balana wouldn't be having any of that shit. It took us 2 days to clip her nails. Thankfully, Mina, she is surprisingly okay with her front paws being touched. The back paws are off limits, of course. You will get chomped for doing that. But her front paws, at least, she's very, like, you can just, like, hold her hand and she'll be like, okay, fine. And I've started, like, I'll, like, massage a little bit in her foot pad area and, like, pull her claws out and stuff. Like, we basically do a whole bunch of conditioning where we're like, well, we're going to have to give her a pill probably at some point in her life, or we're going to have to restrain her in order to do something, and or like have to pick her up and move her. And so yeah, we're trying to do a lot of tolerance training for her. I always find it odd that almost all cat food and treats are chicken and salmon. Do cats not like mutton? What about seal blubber? Calamari? That's very fun, because I actually I got a new thing of food and I didn't realize that it had a flavor in there that she'd never eaten before. The flavor of food that I gave her today is tuna and lamb. Tuna and lamb. She didn't knock it out the way that she usually knocks it out, but I also gave it to her like an hour earlier than usual, so I don't know. Maybe they don't like lamb. Everybody's leaving. No, it's fine. I'm okay with you leaving. I know you got shit to do. But like, listen, if you're like leaving to go watch a different streamer, maybe don't tell me that. Because then I'm like, okay, everybody likes Dead Domain more than me. She's more popular than me. They have more subscribers and more viewers, and people literally leave my live streams in order to go hang out with Dead Domain. Like, okay, that's not like something that you necessarily want to hear. It's like when people say, you know, if you're on a call with me on the line and you're like, oh, you know, Forrest is my favorite host. And I'm like, I'm literally hosting right now. Why would you say that to me? I don't care. I don't know. It's just awkward. Oh, Kenna is actually leaving for a telehealth appointment to get the first of my 2 surgery letters. So that's even more forgivable. That's okay. That's forgivable. I'm okay with you getting your surgery letters. Who's Dead Domain? Dead Domain, Jordan, is a trans, non-binary streamer, YouTuber, who you may have seen their videos of, like, I infiltrated a hate church, or like they did a couple of videos where they infiltrated the Republican National Convention. So they're very cool. Like, Jordan's very cool. I like them a lot. I have been a guest on their stream, like, one time. I was like, yeah, they were fundraising to support some of the GoFundMes of individuals in their community. And so, yeah, if you've never seen Jordan before, this is their channel, Dead Domain. This is what they look like. This is the shows. The video they're doing right now is Trump stole documents. USA is insolvent. Ground invasion imminent. So I understand as well. Like, people, I don't talk about politics anymore, and Dead Domain still does. So I get it. We're diverging in terms of the kind of content that we provide and produce. Didn't they also go to CPAC? Did they go to CPAC? I knew that they did the Republican National Convention, but I don't know if they did CPAC. Possibly. That would not surprise me. Oh, Dead Domain also did a really amazing takedown, or like a great explainer video of why Brianna Wu is such a terrible fucking person, and I think that video was quite interesting. The Republican National Convention infiltration video is pretty fun. Yeah. I mean, of course I have my COVID reservations about that, but that's nothing new. Like, I could also judge anyone for going to a concert. Oh, did someone else also gave a $5 donation earlier that I kind of missed? Or did I not? I thought I'm like remembering that I saw a $5 dono earlier. I can't remember if I added it to the total. Anyway, thank you, Fauna, for the $5 dono that says, happy birthday, Lux. Thank you for making such a cozy space when it's needed the most. Hearts. Thank you. Of course you talk about politics, because everything is politics. I guess you can be a little bit silly if you want. And make that connection. But, okay, yeah. So, okay, yeah, we're at $115. $115. I know that you already saw Mina, so maybe it's not as much of an incentive, but I'll get her again if we get to another $100 amount. Oh my gosh, did I tell you guys that I was getting did I miss your dono, Melatonale? Hold on. Where is it? It's It's not showing up on my fan funding super chats. Did you do it on the website? Are you having cake today? I am actually not. Should be 120 with my dono. Okay, sorry I missed it. Melatonin Ale. 1 second. I'll go ahead and put it up there. 120. Good stuff. None of that stuff is automatic. I have to add every single fucking time. I think I missed it when you had Kitty. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, it was from the website. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you. I don't know why it's being a little bit funny with me sometimes, but thank you. What was I in the middle of saying? Am I having cake today? No, I am actually going to get cannoli for my birthday because, first of all, it's easier to restrain yourself to, if you're just like, oh, I got one cannoli. I found a wonderful bakery that sometimes has cannoli. So I'm gonna get cannoli because it's my fucking favorite. I don't know why, but it's delicious. If you don't know what cannoli is, it's like a hard, semi-sweet tube shell. So it's like a tube shell, or like if you think of like if a tortilla was kind of like rolled up and then like folded over the top a little bit, and then it's in a tube situation. So it's a little sweet, crunchy tortilla tube with mascarpone cheese with sugar. I think that's basically what the filling is. It's mascarpone cheese with powdered sugar mixed into it, and so they pipe it into the tube, and then sometimes they will also put something on the outside. So usually they'll like maybe dip the end of that soft cheesy stuff into like chocolate chips or something, or sometimes chocolate chips will be mixed into the mascarpone cheese when it's pooped out. They're so fucking good. It's just a delicious little compact thing. They're so rich and like, there was this place in Kansas called Cinzetti's. Shout out, hands in the chat if you've been to Cinzetti's in Kansas City before. It's an Italian buffet, and that's where I was introduced to cannoli. And honestly, I rarely have seen cannoli since then. I also used to occasionally shop at Kroger, and sometimes at Kroger they would have like one individual cannoli in the baked goods area, but it's really like not very popular. It's a specialty thing. But anyway, Cinzetti's Italian buffet, and they had like in their dessert area, they had all these wonderful desserts. Sometimes they even had creme brulee, and they had all these different ice creams. And I would literally, like, after filling my body, I would eat a whole meal of like spaghetti and fucking quiche or whatever, like all this different stuff that they had. And then I would end my meal with, I shit you not, 4 cannolis. I would eat 4 of those bitches on top of my meal. I was so into that. So yeah, wonderful, delicious. Future says, I bake, so I go big for me and my wife's B-days, cakes, pies, and queenama. Queenama? You make queenama? Oh, those look so good. I've never had one before. Delicious. Yeah, actually, that's very funny that I didn't even think of that. My partner was like, he asked me, what would you want for your birthday, even if it's just an expensive fantasy? And I was like, okay. I was like, I want a bidet that someone else did all the research for and then installed for me. Or like a cozy weekend in a snowy cabin. Or like, I don't know, I listed off some things. And it didn't even occur to me to be like, oh yeah, my partner bakes. So I could ask him to bake me something. That didn't even occur to me. I spent weeks perfecting the queenama. Oh, they look so yummy. Lux, you're my second favorite streamer. My favorite is myself. Sorry, but I gotta have good self-esteem. Listen, I think that's totally fine. That makes perfect sense. Am I my favorite streamer? I used to actually watch my own streams. Like I would listen to the VODs the following day just while I was doing chores around the house and whatnot. But I don't do that anymore. But I also don't listen to anyone. Okay, that's not true. I do listen to other streams. It's just almost exclusively Glidus and Alt Swift X. Those are the only streams that I watch. Or sometimes David Lightbringer. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I only watch Game of Thrones streamers anymore. Or, like, I guess I've also been watching VODs from Evan and Caitlin streams. Like, they upload the full VODs on YouTube from Twitch. So, yeah. Ooh, I'm a sucker for baklava. Baklava is really good. I've only ever had, like, the shitty version of baklava. I've only ever had the shitty version of baklava that I got at the Kansas City Renaissance Festival. But it was delicious and sticky and covered in, I think it's maple syrup, right? Maple syrup? In Salem, there's a place called The Little Cannoli, and it's so good if you ever need the craving filled and have a day to travel. Totally! Ooh. There's a whole bakery called The Little Cannoli. You know I'm gonna have to do that the next time I'm going to Salem. Listen. Oh, speaking of driving back and forth between cities in the valley, I think before I may have miscommunicated something to you guys. I was telling you that when I went to Seattle, it actually was not a very fun drive because I-5 is only trees on both sides. And some of you were like, well, trees are good to look at. And then I realized that there was a lack of clarity with what I had said. So the problem with driving down the I-5 corridor in the Willamette Valley / up to Seattle is that it's literally like right next to the highway, just pine trees. Just pine trees. So it's like you can't see anything. Traditionally, it'd be honey on baklava. Okay, it was something super sticky, I knew. Okay, cool. I got your back with the sweets in Oregon. Thank you. Yeah. Happy birthday month, Lux. Thank you, Hedonista. I wasn't hammering on it as much as I probably should have this month. So we're just doing like today and then tomorrow. Tomorrow is my birthday stream celebration with Jimmy. Maybe I should have requested that I be on Takis as well this week for my birthday, but fuck it, whatever. I wasn't thinking about it when we did the schedule, and it's too late to change it now. I can make cinnamon rolls. I fucking love cinnamon rolls. But I'm also very particular about cinnamon rolls. I don't like just any cinnamon roll. If I'm like, this cinnamon roll is too dry, I'm like, you've ruined the day for me. You've ruined my whole day. If this cinnamon roll is too dry, I might as well have not gotten out of bed. Anyway, did I tell you guys that I was going to get an ultrasound on my heart? Because I have, I've been trying to figure out what's wrong with my circulation or my heart or whatever. I got a 14-day heart monitor. So for 14 days, I had 2 sticky things stuck to my chest. And I still have like irritation on my skin from it, even though it's been weeks now. And I finally did the ultrasound this week. And it was very interesting. It's not the first time I've had an ultrasound, although the last ultrasound that I had was actually a transvaginal ultrasound, and I can't remember if there was any of the surface stuff. But like, so I had the goop. You know the goop? Have you guys ever had an ultrasound? You do the goop? They warm the goop nowadays. At least that's what I experienced when I went to get the ultrasound done. So they had the goop, and it was like almost hot. So it was so warm, it was like almost hot, and that was a surprise. I was like, oh, the goop is warm. Also, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, if you ever have to get your heart ultrasounded, at least in my experience, periodically throughout the process, sometimes there would be a speaker that would make sound that was it's like the sound of blood sloshing around in your heart. And I gotta say, I did not like that. I found that a little bit upsetting, but it's just like, it makes it too visceral, right? I understand on an intellectual level that I am a meat robot. I'm a meat robot. And like, all it takes is like accidentally shooting yourself, or like one car accident, or like then you're just a smear on the pavement, right? Like, it's a smear on the pavement. And it's like, I understand on an intellectual level that I am a machine made of goop and meat parts and blood, but it's a little bit upsetting when you are directly confronted with that information. Like, I fucked up this finger one time and had to get stitches. Like, I had like a flap of skin off and they had to put it back down. And I just didn't look. They like washed it and I was like, nope, I'm not gonna look. And they shot me full of lidocaine and I was like, I'm not gonna look. And then they sewed it back together and I was like, I don't need to see this. And yeah, so like, yeah, I was like, hearing the sloshes of your heart is unpleasant. Didn't enjoy that part. I had an ultrasound before getting my gallbladder taken out and I got really dysphoric. Oh, weird. Dysphoria from an ultrasound on a gallbladder? Oh, were you dysphoric because you were like, they're doing an ultrasound on me and I don't have a uterus or something? That's an interesting thing. We are all brains piloting bones in meat armor. True. They charged your insurance extra for the warm goop. Probably. Joke's on them. I pay a lot of money for a zero deductible plan. So if they want to charge more for it, that has nothing to do with me. Sorry, sorry to the insurance company. I pay good money for a zero deductible plan. Go fuck yourselves. Ooh, Future Gravy says, or Future Gravy probably, I'm half Cajun, half Egyptian. K-Egyptian, you might say. So my baklava is pistachio and pecan with a simple syrup instead of honey Egyptian style. Ooh! That sounds delicious. My partner has just finished all that monitor and ultrasound. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Okay, so there's two ways that this could go, right? With my heart ultrasound. Either there's nothing structurally wrong with my heart, there's no inflammation, and I'm going to have to continue the process of figuring out what the fuck is wrong with me. But confirmed, my heart is perfectly healthy, right? Like I have premature ventricular and premature atrial contractions according to the monitor that I did, but that isn't like deadly in any way. It's not like a problem really, aside from it being uncomfortable. So if there's nothing structurally wrong with my heart, then we can just breeze past this part and be like, cool, you are in good heart health. Continue to make good heart health decisions. And you'll be fine in that regard. Or, everybody's probably a lot of people die of cardiovascular complications, right? But, or I might find out that like I do have a structural problem with my heart and like possibly if there were something wrong with my heart where it's like it's not pumping blood very efficiently and it could be solved easily through surgery. And let me just tell you, I don't know anything about heart surgery, but it's like, could my fatigue and heart palpitations and symptoms of low blood volume be resolved with one single one single surgery on my heart or procedure on my heart? Like, listen, that might be a good thing. If it's like, oh yeah, you have a heart murmur, we can really easily fix that. Like, okay, cool. So that's the part of the process where I'm just like, yeah, we'll see. I'll hear back by next week if I have some kind of problem with my heart. And if I don't, then cheers. Nothing wrong with my heart. Cool. Excellent. My ultrasound was painful. They just held the handset right between my ribs for a long time to the point of pain. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, my tech, she started right here in between my chest. Wow, in between my boobs. And then she went from there to like down, under, and over. There was like a special table that I was laying on that like part of it, she like dropped it out from underneath me so that she could more easily reach on this side. And then she did actually way down here. And for that one, she had me. So when you get an ultrasound on your heart, you have to like fully exhale for them to take a picture of your heart from like this angle and from this angle, because of, I guess, the like inflation of your lungs makes it so that the ultrasound thingy can't see your heart. But then when she went way down here, I had to take a big full breath. And then she actually went over here for part of it, for a very brief part of it, like pointed, in that way. So it was weird. It was goop, and it was just like sitting in a very dimly lit room for 20 minutes, or like lying in a dimly lit room for 20 minutes, and the goop was warm, and at first she would tell me like, okay, breathe out, but then basically just like every time I breathed out, I would hold it out for a second so that she could take the picture, and so she didn't have to keep telling me like, hey, breathe out fully so I can get this picture. So it was very cooperative in that way, where I'm like, okay, I understand now that in order for you to get a clear picture, I have to breathe out and hold my air out for a second, and then she gets the picture, and then I can breathe again. And then yeah, the sloshing of my like, that's unpleasant. I did not expect that part, but now it's over. Neil says, I watched on the screen as a surgeon inserted a chemo port catheter directly into my aorta. What? Wait, I know somebody who had a chemo port, but it goes into your heart? The chemo port goes into your heart? Why? Also, why were you awake for that? Excuse me, I'm burping because I'm drinking soda. Sorry, I'm gross, you're gross, we're gross, humans are gross. Isn't that great? Isn't that a wonderful thing that we all have in common? I had something else that I did this past week that I was going to talk about. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Oh. That's really exciting, actually. Hold on, let me make sure nothing crazy is going on. My phone just went off. Okay, yeah, my partner did message me. Yep, my partner letting me know that he observed that we just had two Friday the 13th in a row. It's like, yep, we sure did. That's what happens when you have a Friday the 13th in February. It has 28 days, and the following calendar month looks the same. Port entry for chemo goes into your chest, and the med leab, I don't know what that means. The med line goes into jugular or aorta to deliver chemo quickly system-wide. That kind of makes me want to throw up. But fuck cancer. Y'all, like, cancer survivors in chat, rise up. Y'all are amazing. I don't know very many people who've had well, that's not true, actually. I guess of the people I've known who had cancer, and there haven't been a ton of them, one of them was like some kind of uterine cancer, but that's usually like when you catch that pretty early, you catch it early and you get it removed, that is less likely. It's like one of the cancers where you're less likely to have more cancer later, right? Because there's like, if you've ever had cancer, then there's a higher risk for you to get cancer later. So you kind of got to keep an eye on it for the rest of your life. But some drugs will destroy your vasculature if they are not, quote, diluted in the heart. Oh, weird. And then somebody else I know had breast cancer that she was diagnosed at like age 26 because she has the BRCA2 gene. So she had a double mastectomy and chemo, and then her mom ended up being diagnosed with ovarian cancer, which was treated, and she's okay too. But my friend who's young and in her 30s now, she is like basically in early menopause because she's on hormone suppressing medication so that she doesn't develop ovarian cancer. Because with the BRCA2, yeah, it's like breast cancer, ovarian cancer, it's a whole bunch of reproductive bullshit. Of course 2026 would have 2 Friday the 13th. True. Neil says, I'm a survivor and lost my wife 2 years ago, both under 40. Jesus. Did you lose your wife to cancer? That's fucked up, dude. I'm sorry, man. Both under 40. Damn. Boy, I really hope they update all of these cancer screening recommendations soon because, right, like fucking Chadwick Boseman died of colon cancer years before it's even normal to start doing testing for it. Like, he was in his late 30s, I think, and that you don't start getting colonoscopies regularly until you're in your 40s, I believe. So, yeah, isn't that fucked, though, that, like, so many people younger and younger and younger are getting cancer, and yet they're not updating the cancer screening guidance? Like, bro. I lost my partner last year. I was 40 on the nose. Damn. I'm so sorry, you guys. My dad has had cancer 6 or 7 times over the past 30 years. Each time was caught early and each time was beaten. Fuck yeah. I'm glad that your dad has good access to healthcare. My dad was 37 when he got a brain tumor. Oh yeah, I never met her, but my partner had a friend who had a brain tumor and died when she was like 20. Which is crazy. I think that's more of a fluke. Like, nobody's, like, brain cancer isn't, like, common and on the rise. I don't know, maybe it fucking is. Literally, we got to do it starting at 30 at the latest. Yeah, I'm like, when do I need to start getting mammograms? I don't really know what to look for. I think the next time I get, like, a full wellness exam, which sometimes they'll do, like, a sort of preliminary breast check, I think I need somebody to, like, explain to me what I'm looking for and, like, how to do it. And also, I have, like, so much kind of body horror with my body that I'm the kind of person who might miss some medical things. There's some medical stuff that I'm really tuned in for, but when it comes to, like, having to do this and, like, check and feel if you have fucking cancer in your boob, I'm like, I would actually rather die a little bit. Not really, obviously, but I just dislike doing it. I dislike having that awareness of my body. I'm like, can I just get a mammogram once a year and not have to do this to myself? $35 needs to be the new screening age for lots of cancers. Yeah, I agree. Hey, chat, this just in. Trump is going to be descheduling weed completely. Is that true? I've heard them talking about that. It's like, obviously, that would be convenient for people who live in legal states. Like, it's... I don't know. Actually, that's an interesting question. I'm assuming there must be state laws against cannabis use. Otherwise, like, the legalization of cannabis in certain places, like, maybe it's like... I don't know. I never really thought about that. If like, the federal government deschedules cannabis, are there going to be places where it just kind of de facto becomes legal because there's no state or municipal laws against it? At the very minimum, I'm excited about descheduling cannabis because it means that fucking research can be done. So many anecdotal claims about its efficacy in managing anxiety or managing pain or managing sleep. Easing banking restrictions, making it to where, like, if there's like a cannabis business, they can, because I know my very loose understanding is that, like, even in states where it's legal, like Oregon, you have to pay cash because there's something about the banking that they, like, don't want to do business or something. I don't really understand it, to be completely honest, but, like, yeah, my understanding is that even in states where it's legal, you might have to use cash to make your purchases because of issues with the banks and debit and everything. Yeah, when Oregon legalized weed, they still had raids from the feds for years. I remember seeing, videos and clips of that in Colorado, California, maybe Oregon, yeah, where DEA would show up. So it's, like, federally illegal and crack down on establishments that are legal at the state level. Yeah, that's also what I'm seeing. I'm seeing some information about changing cannabis's schedule from 1 to 3, which is still an improvement, right? Like, because that does bring it down into a level of like tax relief for cannabis businesses, and again, like having the ability to do medical studies on it. Quantum Chaos says that we've been researching it in the rest of the world for decades. Yeah, other places where it's legal to research it. The data is pretty clear that it is kind of helpful for some things, but it's not magical like some people pretend it is. Sure, and I think it probably varies a lot on your personal biochemistry, because there are some people I've heard claim up and down that weed helps their anxiety. But I've known plenty of other people who are like, yeah, I don't smoke anymore. It used to make me so anxious and I had to quit doing it. And that might be for a combination of things. Like it might have to do with the delivery system. Like if you are smoking, any smoking has a chance to fuck with your cardiovascular system and increase your anxiety in that sense of like it makes your heartbeat increase. So any kind of smoke inhalation. So it's like maybe it would help to isolate, like the difference of like the impact of smoking versus the little vapes that I see people use versus like edibles, versus, I don't know, there's even other things like lotions and stuff. I would love to get one of those. Actually, Alyssa recommended one recently, and I maybe need to tap her. It was not cheap, but I kind of want to try one of those like cannabis-based. Is it like a lube? I don't think it's exactly a lube. I think it's like a lotion type thing that you put on your giblets, and it like enhances sexual pleasure and stuff. And I'm like, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I would love to try it. Because then the effect is localized, right? If you're doing, I know I've heard people talk about doing, they have like a cannabis lotion that it helps their pain locally on the place that they put the stuff on. I would be also interested in seeing if that holds up against a placebo trial. Is the lotion actually helping you, or is your perception that the lotion is supposed to help you helping you? Different cannabinoids do make a difference as well. THC specifically makes me anxious, but CBD relaxes me. Yeah, that's what CBD is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be like a relaxation thing. I know at one point my sister, her parrot was super anxious, and she was getting like CBD droplets to put on her parrot's food so the parrot would kind of calm down. So I've heard that CBD is being used for pets for sure. Lost my partner to stomach cancer 3 years ago, had just turned 30. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Dude, so much. Listen, as much as it's possible, I think we as a generation of people really need to kind of recenter some of it's out of our control, right? Like, because if you live near a place where there's a toxic waste dump, that's a little bit out of your control, right? Like you're going to get cancer. That's just a thing that happens if you live near one of those shitty places, or there's a fucking train derailment that dumps a bunch of chemicals all over the place, and there's arsenic in our soil and all this kind of shit. But like, as far as food goes, get more fiber. Hey, I actually don't know. Does fiber have anything to do with, does fiber impact stomach cancer specifically? Dietary fiber intake is associated with a decreased risk of gastric cancer, point blank, period. Guys, eat more beans, eat some chia seeds, eat some fresh fruits and vegetables, get your fucking fiber. Quantum says the best impact of cannabis use for cancer is treating nausea and helping people keep on weight, but some people pretend it's a cancer cure, for example, and I say this as a big fan of the stuff. Sure, yeah. It's not a panacea. It can be helpful for some symptoms, like anything that you apply medicinally. It's like it's a symptom treatment thing and not a cure situation. Obviously, decriminalization for weed is important. I just wish that people had that energy for all substances which have evidence for medical/mental health improvements. Right. Yeah. Someone else said, I really wish that psilocybin was getting closer to being descheduled. Schedule 1 is absurd. Right. I read some time ago about some research that was being done at, I want to say, Oxford University, looking into the, implementing psilocybin in PTSD treatments. And I'm really interested in that field of research. But yeah, it's like, how do you, like, Oregon did briefly decriminalize drugs like hallucinogens, and they recently made it illegal again. So it's like the ability to do that but that ability to even personally try it is limited again. The poll doesn't show the option for what I gave you for your birthday. A subscriber, me. I just found your channel. Hi, Talia. Welcome. It's good that we're still getting new people here. In the year of our Lord 2026. Occasionally new people. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. CBD did have some promising results in treating social anxiety in children with autism spectrum disorder, but it was just one small study, and I don't think anything has been done on that since, which is annoying. Truly, yes. Future Gravy shouts out Beneful water-soluble fiber for the win. I add it to my cholestyramine once a day. Do you take the same shit that Jimmy takes? I don't know, Future Gravy, if you are a fan of the line or you're just here for me, but my boss and dear friend Jimmy Snow takes a medicine that sounds a lot like that, cholestyramine. It's like a resin that makes his body work better. I don't really understand it completely. We've spoken on the phone recently on Takis. Talia! I remember speaking to a Talia recently because that name... Oh, wait. Talia, are you the one that I ripped a new one? Or maybe you're a different Talia, because I definitely did yell at someone about bathrooms. So I'm sorry if that was you, but maybe it was someone else. In general, millennials tend to expire 10 years earlier than previous generations with things like drug use or cancer. Right. Yeah. Cancers were on the rise already before COVID. And by the way, everybody, COVID can cause cancer. If you've previously had cancer, COVID can cause you to get cancer again. And also COVID can cause you to get cancer for the first time. And that's something that we don't talk about enough. Can you imagine how fucked up the world would be if cancer were contagious? It's like if we treated COVID the way that we treat smokers, like cigarette smokers, where it's like, we used to do this in public. Oh, Talia. Okay, cool. It was a friendly call. Good. Because yes, I recently yelled at someone else named Talia who was trying to say that only trans women who pass as women should be in the women's bathroom. And boy, howdy, was I mad at her. But yeah, so in that way, we're like, secondhand cigarette smoke can cause cancer. And so we limit where people can smoke. You can't just do it inside everywhere anymore. And there's a social stigma around smoking. So I do kind of think that if we had any sense as a society, like any common sense as a society, we would be treating all shared air like it can cause cancer, because it can. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, headphone users in particular. Cheers. I only smoke secondhanded, true. Yeah, if you want to see the clip, Talia, it's on my channel currently, and it's like, trans woman says trans people shouldn't use the bathroom. It might be my most recent video, actually. I have been severely falling behind on my upload schedule this month, but I've just made I actually just had a realization yesterday that I think is going to make it a lot easier for me to produce content. So here's my news. Here's my like good news that I'm sharing with you is that I've been looking into this whole like could I learn how to be an engineer thing because I have a background where I was an electrician and a solar PV installer, and I did really well in the school part of that, but I struggled with the physical tasks because of my weird whatever the fuck is wrong with me physically, that I'm still getting diagnosed. And I had the realization recently, like, oh shit, I could do electrical engineering if I could manage to go to school. But that's going to be expensive, and so I'm kind of been like in this process of figuring out how does financial aid work? Could I potentially get most of it covered? Like, how expensive would it be for me to try to be at school full time to learn how to be an engineer? Because if you were around last year, you might remember I was going on and on about how I wanted to, try something in environmental science. And I ended up applying for a job as the social media manager for an environmental science or like a nonprofit that it was like an advocacy group for environmental issues. And I did not get that job. And then I realized, oh shit, that job is actually in much higher demand than I realized. Like there were a ton of applicants. There were way more applicants than the nonprofit itself was expecting. And honestly, I've thought about it a little bit more and I've realized like social media fundamentally is a marketing job. It's not fundamentally a creative job. It's not fundamentally like a self-expression job. It is fundamentally a marketing job. So that kind of sucks. And I've been wanting to explore other things. And so I'm in the process of applying at a community college and seeing how would that work? Like, how would that go? And I haven't actually officially gotten my FAFSA results back, but my preliminary FAFSA result was like, based on my current financial situation, I might be able to basically get most of the first year covered. So, and I told my partner, I was like, look, listen, if I can get this and with between grants and scholarships and Pell Grants or whatever, between all the different kinds of financial aid, if I can do it for like relatively like not a lot of money, then I probably will. And so, yeah, I got the preliminary news this week that I might be able to basically go for an entire year at college for free. More or less for free. So, it kind of seems like I'm going to, right? Like if I'm doing a placement test and figuring out, do I need to take any, because like the very first term, they want you to take differential calc. And I haven't taken a math class in like over a decade. So I might have to go ahead and actually start over the summer and get some of my, just like knock some of it out. But yeah, that's great news. I really kind of wish that I had known this 10 years ago, but of course I probably at the time would have done something stupid with it. Like I probably would have gone to school for something a lot less impactful. Because when you're young, you don't know what you want to do later. And so, yeah, I'm just like, electrical engineering would be cool. Designing solar systems or designing electrical, or I've had several people tell me at this point that I should learn how to do controls and robotics because that's a highly desirable field. Like one person told me recently that I might even be able to find a job before I finish college if I learn how to do control circuits. So I'm gonna fucking see how it goes. The one thing about doing the oh my God, the 2-year program. So I'm like, okay, let me get as much of my prerequisite shit, or not prereqs, as much of my expensive classes done at a community college as possible versus then having to go to a 4-year university to finish my last 2 years, and it's going to be like twice as expensive. In order to do all of that in 2 years at a community college, it will be like 20 credit hours, which is insane. Like, if you don't know this, 12 credit hours or 12 to 15 credit hours is considered full-time as a student. 20 hours is insane. That's like 5 in-depth math classes, or like 5, like there's like you're taking 2 or 3 math classes per term, and a core ed, like, so it's or and chemistry or whatever. So it's all very intense classes. So we will see if later this year I am functional. We will in September we'll find out what it's going to be like for me to be a more than full-time student and working my jobs. So, yeah. I find it kind of laughable to quibble about secondhand smoke in my state that has the worst air quality in the USA. Yeah, well, 2 things can be bad at the same time. And we as a country are great at applying more responsibility to individuals than to corporations, because I would bet the air quality in your state is shit, not because of individual actions, but because of corporations. So it's much easier to be like, you personally should stop smoking. Anything above 18 is nutso for real. Yeah, we're learning. With the FAFSA results, be aware of public versus private loans. My intention is to take no loans. My intention is to do Pell Grants and grants from the state of Oregon, and I think it's too late for me to apply for any scholarships for the 2026-2027 school year as far as Oregon scholarships go, but there's still grants that I could apply for, or in connection with the FAFSA or whatever. So yeah, my intention is to try to get everything covered with grants and then pay cash for the rest of it, rather than taking any loans. But we'll see when it comes time for me to finish at the last 2 years at a proper university. We will fucking see if I end up taking any loans then. But I don't know. I'm doing 16 credit hours this semester, and it is intense. Yeah. Maybe I'll fail miserably. I don't know. I think that necessarily what's going to happen is I'm going to cut back on streaming, because there's going to be increased demands on my time from the line this year. And yeah, I just you're going to have to apply early for state loans. Yeah, I only just now started the process of even thinking I should see if I could do school this fall. So yeah, now that I know, you got to start applying for scholarships in November if you want to get them to cover your school the following September. It's kind of weird how early you have to do these things. If I had any intention of going to college my senior year of high school, maybe I would have learned some of these things back then. I did 18 credit hours my first semester. I don't know why I did that to myself, and that's probably why I got a D in Calc 2. I also kind of feel and maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this, I kind of feel if I am awarded a grant that will let me basically do that 20 hours, if I'm okay, cool, you're going to cover all of it, I kind of feel it would be wasteful not to do as much as possible in as small a time as possible. But maybe I'm crazy. But it just is okay, if you're going to give me $7,000 or whatever for Pell Grants, and that covers most of it, then I feel I need to do as much as I can with that in the because I don't know if I'm going to get the same grants next year. I'm making different amounts of money from one year to the next, and I don't know if I'm going to have the same, my younger sibling might not live with me anymore, so that difference of having a dependent, I might not get as much in Pell Grants later, so I kind of feel I need to do as much as I can in electrical engineering while working. Yeah, that's kind of the intention. But like I said, I'm probably going to cut back on streaming. I'm expecting that this year we're going to go down to 1 stream a week. And my work with the line, I honestly make kind of a lot of money hourly. Roughly the breakdown with the line is I get roughly $100 per show. That's not literally accurate, because some shows make more money and some make less money. But if I make roughly $100 every show, it's roughly 3 hours a show, then okay, I make $30 an hour. And I functionally my hours are part-time. like 20 credit hours is not sustainable while working, but I don't work full time. So I feel like I have more flexibility than a lot of other people who are working because I make decent money working relatively few hours. Your advisor would not support a heavy course load. We'll find out. I'll talk to my advisor. I have to do like orientation and all this kind of shit before I talk to an advisor. So I might not actually be able to talk to an advisor until like May. But, and so, like I said, I might be able to do some of it over the summer as well. So if I have a core ed that I'm supposed to take in the fall, I could potentially take it during the summer, and that would make my fall semester easier. It depends on your goals and time. If you're still working, you might burn yourself out and not get as much out of the learning. That's a good thing to take into account. I'll take that into account. Like, I don't want to burn myself out. But I also really don't want to keep making content anymore. And you guys are here, and I am assuming that you don't want to hear about how much I dislike my job, so I don't want to go too hard on it. But as I've been looking into the future of like, what does this job turn into later? What can I do with this later? It just feels like I feel like I'm constantly looking for like, ooh, I should be doing this. Ooh, I should be doing that. I would like to do movie reviews, and I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm going to have to start over on a whole other channel and do movie reviews and try to build a totally different audience over there and functionally have like 3 jobs that I'm juggling. And I've realized that like I just put a lot of pressure on myself, and I don't really enjoy the fact that this is a marketing job, right? Like I said, if you can approach content creation as a purely creative thing, then great. You know, if you have a manager who can tell you what to do and when to do it, if you have someone who is checking the search engine optimization and they're staying on the cutting edge of learning everything, that like, you know, and going like, ooh, yeah, you need to post this many short content things per week on these different platforms. Or like, here's a meme that's popular on Instagram right now. But I have to do all of that myself right now, and it's overwhelming and I don't want to. So, you know, it's like you think of content creation as something that's fun or at least relatively low energy, but it is very taxing. There's a lot of shit that you have to do. So if I can basically be like, I'm producing for the line, so like 3 or 4 days a week, I'm, you know, off camera running the show, and like I can do other things while I'm doing that sometimes. Like if I know, okay, Forrest is about to do a 40-minute call, I can literally just do something else during that time. And then I would be actually on camera. Let's say I still stream once a week, but that might even cut back if I'm streaming once a week and then I'm on camera on Thursdays with Jimmy. I actually have like a lot of time where I'm not working. So my wife taught biology for 10 years at a major college. You can't do 20 hours and not fail at least 2 of those. Listen, I'm open to the idea that I might fail. We'll find out. That's the thing about doing it for free, at least this first year. I started a podcast in 2021 and haven't made more than $18 in a single month. A lot are paying in. Yeah, it's so tough, Dizzy. So, and so I think that maybe like instead of trying to make a whole separate channel where I talk about movies, maybe I'm just like, anytime I have commentary that's dumb bullshit, I'll just put it on Patreon. And on my primary channel, I'll just post clips, which honestly does not take a huge amount of effort to post clips. So if like one day every 3 weeks, I have to record a couple of like, hey, I'm Luxander and this is a call. Let me tell you where you can find me on the line. And then like post and have like an entire month of videos ready to go. And like basically all I have to do is do those recordings and update my Patreon credits every month. I think I can do it. I think it's going to be fucking hard. And I'm not trying to say it's not going to be hard, but I think that I can do it. But we'll fucking find out, right? Happy date of birth anniversary. Yeah. What a great way to put that. I'm 38 and still learning all this shit. Also weird having most of my classmates be 15 to 20 years younger than me, but I do mostly online classes. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be weird. Because, like, yeah, a lot of students who do something intense like engineering and go full-time are probably not going to be working at the same time. And, like, shit, maybe my advisor will tell me, like, you really shouldn't do that. But I'm ambitious, it turns out. I would rather stretch myself thin doing something I actually care about than have, like, an easy job that I don't particularly like. Water. It's time for water. Hail hydrate, bitches. There's a threshold for how much info you can cram in at once. Plus, depending on the courses, there may be massive amounts of coursework. That's true. I'm working my way through a pre-calculus book right now, so I'm hoping to have at least some of the ideas there in my brain. Okay, Dizzy. See, okay, Dizzy, thank you. I feel like a lot of people are maybe trying to look out for me, but are being a little bit negative about it. So Dizzy says, if you're going to do it, the first year is probably the one to do the overload on. I also took 22 hours while working 60 plus hours a week. I am not going to be working anywhere near that much. And I'm hoping to still have plenty of time to, like, go to the gym and everything. Like, I probably will have to cut other things. Like, I cook dinner all the time right now, and I'm probably going to have to stop cooking dinner. So. Clifton Manley, snaps for Clifton, says, people tell me it takes years to shoot a 74 in golf. I did it in a month. Don't let anyone tell you you cannot. I don't know what the fuck that means. But thank you for your encouragement. Like, trust me, I understand that what I'm going to do right now is crazy. Like, I am fully aware that what I am setting myself up for is really fucking hard. That's a great point. Year one classes tend to be relatively easy. I mean, like, I don't want to poo-poo you at all, Penny, but year one classes, again, in this engineering program, like, one of the terms is calculus, physics, and applied engineering mathematics. So it's 3 pretty intense math classes all in the same semester. So, yeah. Cooking dinner for partners is so sweet. Yeah, I like making dinner, but I'm also kind of entering this phase of my life where I think that I'm going to be able to do more, like, meal prep. Like, meal prep is, you know, can I just cook a bunch of chicken on Saturday and then reheat the chicken throughout the rest of the week? I'm okay with doing those things where I'm prepping ahead of time, or, like, making a bunch of rice and then freezing it, and then you just kind of have rice whenever you want to have it. Or, you know, beans, same thing. Just make some beans and then freeze them, and then you just have beans whenever, right? Like, I'm cool with batching stuff out like that. So maybe, like, that's kind of a natural progression for me, where I got into cooking every night, and then I've gradually been cooking less and less. Or, like, my younger sibling, I had them take over cooking a couple nights a week. So, yeah. I didn't say they were easy. I said relatively easy. That's fair. Lots of flashcards. You could stream and have your audience quiz you. That's also true. I do already have flashcards, because I was like, I really want to memorize all the different properties of numbers in math and all that shit, and, like, really make sure I understand, like, what's the difference between rational and irrational numbers. Yeah. I would strongly suggest not going above 15 credit hours, especially while you're working and taking care of the family. Yes, you'll probably be able to do it, but you will be burnt out and miserable. We'll fucking find out. We'll find out, dude. I'm actually kind of a tank. I don't think you know that about me. I don't know if everybody knows that about me, but I'm a little bit of a tank. So, also depends on what kind of support system you'll have at home. Yeah, that's another thing. I am not fully committed yet to doing the classes, so I'm gonna talk to my partner. I told him, I was like, hey, I want your opinion. I want to know if you think this is a reasonable thing to do with our money. You know, like we had been talking about starting to save up for a house, and I am thinking about the possibility of wanting to have a kid, and I need to talk to him about it and get his ideas of like, what does he want to do next? And is he on board with any of these things? And yeah, we might have to like, I might be like, hey, I need you to do more at home because we both like make roughly the same amount of money, but I'm doing a bunch of intense extra shit right now. So yeah, maybe I will need like a lot of support and a lot of self-care downtime. So yeah, I'm open to the idea that it might be kind of fucking insane. A lot of classes make year one hard to weed out people who aren't serious. Oh, that makes sense. Sure. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you better be prepared to lock in. I didn't have trouble with heavy math course load. 2 intensive writing courses did me in. I'm not as concerned about a writing class as I am about a math class, TBH. Unlike the rest of these chumps, I've got complete and unwavering faith in your ability to do this, Lux. Thanks. That's what I need to hear. That's what I need to hear. I need people to be like, you crazy son of a bitch, you're gonna do it. That's what I need. I don't need, oh my God, that's gonna burn you out. Like, okay, I am recognizing that I already know that 20 hours is crazy. I am already aware of how fucked up it's gonna be. I need you to be like, that crazy son of a bitch, he just might do it. Like, that's what I need. See, Destiny believes in me. There we go. Maths are easy, and I still hate calculus. Fair enough. I feel like now that I understand what calculus is for, it's how do we deal with variables that change over time? I'm like, cool. That's all I need. I need to know what practical application the math has in order to care about it at all. I did better in like 8th grade physics portion of the math than I did with like algebra 2, because I was like, who fucking cares? We have faith, but we're also giving advice. No. And I appreciate it. And I understand that I'm about to embark on an insane journey, probably. Calculus kind of blows, but physics is S tier. I really like physics, and I will have to take it, so. What's differential calc? I actually don't know. What is differential calculus class? Sure. Differential calculus studies how quantities change, focusing on derivatives, limits, and rates of change. It's the first half of introductory calculus. Yeah, it's the subfield of calculus that studies the rates at which quantities change. So it's basically like saying it's intro calculus.
Future Gravy has donated $5. I crushed it with 20 plus hours and a job. You will too.
Thank you for another $5 from Future Gravy. Oh, wait, where is my donation goal thing? Did I make it go away and then never brought it back? Oh, I never brought it back. Goofy. I got distracted. I thought I hit the save button. I'm so sorry. That's just been gone for a while now. But yeah, Gravy also said that they did 20 hours while working and they did it. So yeah, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go. Support system is everything. I struggled doing my associate's degree because my now ex-wife was not supportive at all and unwilling to help share the load at home. My current boyfriend is the exact opposite and extremely supportive of me and my education. I believe you can do whatever you put your mind to. Yeah, and part of what I was like, I want to talk to my partner about this because last year when I was talking about wanting to do something in environmental science, part of what I remember picking up from him was that he was like, do you think I don't also want to do a new thing? Quite the dono reveal for those of us who were late. Yeah. $125. If we manage to get $75 more in the next like 20 minutes, I'll go get my cat again. Yeah, so I was like, I want to tell my partner, like, hey, I care. Like, if you wish that you could go to school right now, like, first of all, I don't see you, applying for the FAFSA to see how much student loan or student aid you could get. But I want to be respectful. Like, yeah, maybe you're not happy in your job. And if you wish that you could do something else, then maybe we need to discuss, like, does my partner want to fucking study engineering? Like, I don't know. So he has to be on board with it, right? Like, I need support through that process if I'm gonna do it. Oh no. Quantum chaos. Oh my god. Quantos Nachos says, one time I was actively bleeding to death. Don't worry, I got better. And while waiting for the ambulance, my brother was trying to distract me by teaching me calculus. And now I don't like to think about calculus. In the moment, it did help a bit to not think about, fuck, I'm dying, to be fair. That's so funny. It's like when you drink a particular alcohol and you get like fucked up on it and throw up, and then later you're like, I can never drink that alcohol again because it was such a bad hangover. That's very funny. Apologies if you've heard this before. No, I haven't heard this before. A good rule of thumb is that every credit hour will take 3 hours a week of studying / homework. I've never heard that before. So basically I'm signing up for 60 hours a week of work. Fun. That's fun. I do appreciate that though. No, like I hadn't ever heard that before. Is that a rule of thumb? Like, rule of thumb with college credit hours. Yeah, okay, so the very first result is from Reddit. It's recommended to study for 2 to 3 hours per credit hour. Okay, so 2 to 3 hours, right? That makes sense. You can be optimistic and say it's only 40 hours. You need calculus to design a parking lot.
Donated $5. Wow. Break down the problem, reduce to manageable chunks, and engineer the solution. Good
Hell
luck.
Yeah. Thank you, Faulty, for the $5 dono. Yeah. Just break it down. Just break it down into chunks. It's not a rule of thumb, Lux. It's a rule of wrist. I don't know what that means. Is it because it's a bigger rule? It's a bigger rule than just this one? I don't know what that means. Now I'm thinking about Alice and her 3 fingers. If you haven't watched Night of the Seven Kingdoms, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway. For me, it was too much Fireball. Why is it always Fireball? I've heard this from so many people. They're like, I drank way too much Fireball and I got fucked up and I threw it up. And maybe it's because there's something very particular about like cinnamon whiskey coming out of your body that like it burns extra hard. And so it's like, maybe, you know, if you did too much like Kraken, maybe it doesn't traumatize you in the same way because of the lack of spiciness in the nose and everything. Support system is everything, and a willingness to be a little goblin. The food prep is a big one that my special brand of autism wouldn't let me do, for example. Oh my god, I need to stop. I just put both of my feet on my top part of my chair when I specifically have a platform for my legs to go on. It's a quote from Boondock Saints. They talk about how the rule of thumb was about the width of stick you could legally beat your wife with. Exciting! Oh my gosh, we have 10 gifted subs from Turtle Birthday or 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Wow. That's very generous. I don't typically add the memberships to the donation goal. I may or may not make an exception this time because that was a $50 donation basically just now. Thank you so much. And then did I just add this $5 someone just gave me? Let me do this. It's going to be popping up on the screen for a while, so that'll keep you all entertained. 130. I get, you know, like normally, I would have to go back and add the other one from earlier. Memberships are a little bit weird, guys. I don't usually add them to the donation goal. What the fuck am I doing? But congrats everybody who just got a gifted membership. I hope you enjoy your colored name and your emojis and your basically no premium exclusive content because I keep forgetting to post on YouTube memberships. Let's see. Cat. There we go. Thank you, Turtle Birthday. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I did too much birthday cake vodka. I don't even drink anymore, but if I smell that, I immediately remember almost dying. Oh no. I love Fireball with coffee. I ended up doing, I ended up finding a whiskey that was called Cinerator that was, it was 45% alcohol and instead of 35%, which is what Fireball is. And the Cinerator I felt was a little bit less syrupy. And it was just nicer. So I liked that quite a bit. But I'm also basically like trying to go sober. Like this is part of, listen, okay, this is how seriously I'm taking this right now. I am going sober. Except for caffeine. And even then, not very much caffeine. Like I'm like, because I know that it just fucks your brain up, even though, like, even when you're not actively drinking or whatever, it can still have like a lingering effect in your brain. So I might drink occasionally, but it's really not compatible with the kind of lifestyle that I'm trying to live right now. I had my re-birthday cake today. 4 years and 2 days ago, I was reborn. Hell yes. I love that for you. I know I love how we tied it in. Mixed Dizzy tied it in. It's my birthday right now, and we're talking about birthday cake vodka. We've got re-birthday cakes. Happy natal anniversary. That sounds gross. But thank you. No, I've never watched Boondock Saints. I think it may have been on the television at some point, but I never watched it. Yes, Merry Birthmas. What's up, Shakespeare? Hope you're doing well. I'm a computer science major / math minor from the 1900s. It's very funny to contextualize things that way. Like, I was born in the 1900s. And as you start to wither away before your very eyes and everything. Future Gravy says, I recently went sober, and it's wild how much clearer my thoughts are. I learned Arduino and circuits in 3 days. Couldn't imagine doing that a year ago. I know, I understood. By reborn, you meant your egg cracking. I understood. Yeah. Yeah, I actually just bought a soldering kit, like a thing to teach you how to solder, and it's a little Bluetooth guy. I also bought my partner something. It was like, his is a variable voltage power supply. Again, it's like a little soldering kit, like a teach you how to solder type thing. And his showed up first, and I gave it to him, and I was like, happy birthday to you. But technically what I did was I purchased myself a fun experience hanging out soldering with my partner. Watch the first Boondock Saints and then immediately forget that I just implied there is a second one because it's awful. There is no Boondock Saints 2 in Ba Sing Se. I understand. I once drank enough Sambuca to give me alcohol poisoning when I was 17, and to this day, black licorice smell gets me sick. Ooh, no. Yeah, understandable. Doing incredibly other than having my name change colors. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Can we get a gifted sub for Shakespeare? There's too many white names in my chat. Look at this. Melanie, Coderjo, Pizzotl, Noah. We got too many white names in chat. We need a Mayo side. Mayo side. Mayo side. Anyway. I got a computer science book from 1976 on my desk right now, and it's one I reference often. It's older than me, but not by a lot. It's so interesting because that's a field that's like rapidly updating computer sciences. So I feel like computer science from the 70s has to be wild to study. You know what they say, the couple that melts lead together stays together. That's true. I think we have unleaded, unleaded. I think we have no lead solder, so it's less of an issue, but I am still aware of the concept of not wanting to breathe it in. I'm familiar with the fact that it's not good for you, but it's mostly like the lead, right? Future Gravy says, I've got some proto board and a bunch of electronics to motorize a telescope I made. I'd suggest tackling a fun big project. You'll fuck up a bunch, but that's where you learn the most. So my partner taught himself, he already knew how to do metal soldering for like jewelry because he took jewelry classes in high school. But the his first like learning to electrically solder was when he was converting an N64 console into a portable N64 playable unit with like the game and the screen and the controls all in one. And yeah, he learned how to solder by having to relocate the part of the board where the game cartridge goes in, because like it's a motherboard and usually the motherboard lays flat and then you chunk the game into the top. But because he's trying to turn it into a one unit, you know, you want the motherboard to be inside of a container like this so you can hold it. And then so he had to relocate with like the ribbon cable and everything the cartridge slot to the top so that you could have a game thing that you're holding and then chunk the thing into the top of what is otherwise like a thing you hold like this. So yeah, that was fun. I imagine. The fundamentals are still the fundamentals from a computer science guy. That's cool. That's cool. Like, things have changed so much in that industry, but not enough to make the fundamentals irrelevant. That's fun. I learned how to solder modding Xboxes for beer. That sounds like fun. Get yourself some 6040 PBSN rosin core solder. As long as you have an extractor fan, then that stuff is way easier to use. I don't have an extractor fan, as a matter of fact. Thank you, John from Michigan, for the birthday wishes. It's my birthday. I'm just going to keep referencing fucking Thor Ragnarok for the rest of my life, I guess. Every year, once a year at least. It's my birthday. I learned to solder in the Air Force. I used to be an aircraft electrician. Ooh, that's fun. Ooh, I bet that's complicated. Jiminy Christmas. I'm not really interested in machines, so that it's so funny how I'm like, I'm really interested in like engineering, which as a whole is a very intense field, and I'm like, yeah, but machines are too complicated. Artemis Glamour, welcome in. Also, I think Soul Echo might be just coming in. I think John just came in. Hello, everybody who's just coming in. What's up, what's up? We are about, what is it, 70? We're $70 away from torturing my cat again, if we want to see her again. Now, I know some of you are just coming in. We haven't, today is the first day I've ever shown her on purpose. Sometimes she jumps up over there, but today I was like, we're finally doing the reveal. You've evaded the fascists yet again. Be proud. Yeah, totally. Haha. Do you go camping because it's so intense? Haha. I like puns. I know some people hate them. I told Justin this week, I was like, I would love to see Justin and Erica do a show together on the line because Erica hates puns, but Justin really likes puns. So it's kind of like when we have Aaron Adair, Dr. Aaron Adair on with Erica, where Aaron will make these dad jokes and puns and stuff, and Erica's like, I will murder you. It's basically, every response that she has to puns boils down to, I will murder you. She just has to have like creative ways to say it. It's so funny that this thing keeps falling and like covering my eyes. I'm sorry. Working on aircraft was a little complicated, but not really. The hardest stuff was adjusting potentiometers on landing gear. That makes sense. Oh wait, Dizzy and Merlin, are you guys an item? You knew the pun came from your partner? That's very funny. Dyslexia, ADHD, and anxiety has stopped my going back to college to learn any advanced courses. That's so rough. I can't imagine trying to do anything academic with dyslexia. People who have dyslexia and go hard on school, like, so much fucking respect for you. I am going to be trying to get my ADHD treated. That's like one of the things that I'm working on right now, is getting some like documentation transferred from my previous doctors. And or like doing the ADHD assessment all over again or whatever and getting medicated again for ADHD. Because, I mean, shit, maybe I'll get medicated for ADHD and I'll be able to manage myself and I'll decide that I want to keep making content forever. But either way, like literally either way, I think I need to get medicated. I must go away for some time. I will miss you all. Good day to you. Farewell. So long. Good luck. And happy fucking birthday, Lux. I hope that you don't mean like for weeks or something. I want to see you in chat on the line later, like tomorrow. But yes, for today, I'm gonna be quitting soon, so won't see you again today probably. But thanks for coming to hang out. Appreciate you. You've been a trooper for wearing that this whole stream. It's kind of fun to have something to fidget with. I don't mind. If you want to eventually get into automation controls, try playing with little microcontroller projects using Arduino, Raspberry Pi Nano, or ESP32 dev boards. They're less than $10 and can do cool shit. Yes, I am mulling it over. Like, could I automate the lights in my bedroom to turn on at a certain time? Or even better, could I create, it would be like a combination of automation control circuits and engineering to create a thing where like there's like a pulley system that like opens my curtains at a certain time of the morning. That would be fucking lit. And I want to start the process of learning so that I could potentially start doing stuff like that. And like that's the part that I'm so excited for in this next phase of my life is like creative or like projects, right? And I'm like, I want to talk to my partner about putting together a shitty spare computer to learn how to use Linux and, you know, maybe flash an old phone and like learn how to flash a new operating system onto a phone. Or do they not call them operating systems on phones? Do they call them something else? Functionally, it's an operating system, but do I remember donos are slightly easier for you to receive through your site? You remember correctly, Dizzy. YouTube doesn't pay out my donations until I get my ad payment next month. So if you donate today, I don't get that money until late April. And YouTube can sometimes take up to 40% of your donation. And when you donate directly through my website, you only have the PayPal processing stuff.
Drea has donated $70. Burb. Burb's the word.
Burb, indeed. Indeed. Yes, Dizzy is my partner. We have a podcast together and we're married. I've been thinking for a long time about starting a podcast with my partner. I probably need to just, it's going to be for fun anyway. So maybe I just need to like put together a plan for the first 5 episodes and then have us record like 2 of them and then start doing it. Yeah, even my lawnmower is an automated robot. Wait, hold on. I'll get the cat in a second. 1 second. My whole house runs on Home Assistant and ESP Home, including presence sensors, lighting that changes color, temperature with the position of the sun, and motorized curtains. That's fucking lit. They call them ROMs for phones, but if it's like an actual operating system, like is it called a ROM when it's the one that is on the phone that you bought?
Pitsote got a tier 2 subscription. GM Sifa Show happy birthday.
Thank you. What is this link that you've sent me? Is it okay? Hold on. Oh no, what is this? Happy birthday. Oh, I don't know what this is. Okay, this has got 1 million views, so I think that I might not want to play it on stream, but thank you very much. Okay, hold on 1 second. Thank you so much, Drea. That's so sweet. And that has changed. And now we're going to do this. We've made it to $200. Thank you. It's my birthday. I am going to spend it on cannoli. I promise I'll spend it on cannoli. Stock ROM and custom ROMs. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. What's your guys' podcast about, by the way? Tell me what your podcast is about, and I'll be back in a second. She's literally so sweet and so tolerant. Look at you. She's a little rag doll when you pick her up until she decides she wants to get down. Hi, baby girl. Hello. Hello, my fuzzy lady. Hello. Yeah, hello. Her whiskers are so long. She's so pretty. She's so fluffy. Hello, good girl. Hello. Oh, I interrupted her in the middle of a bath. Look at you, you good girl. She's so little. She's so little compared to my last cat. Aren't you so little? Are you so sweet? Uh-huh, look at you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You good girl. She is super soft. I took her to the vet and they were like, oh my God, she's so soft. And I'm like, I know. Good girl. Yeah. I'm really surprised that she's not like trying to get away. Oh, good girl. Okay. Thank you. I put you down now. Yeah, you are a good girl. She just lays down. I'm so glad that she's not mad at me. Such a cuddly one. She's not the most cuddly with me, actually. She likes to be nearby me, but not like on me. And yes, I'm pretty sure that I've had a hair of hers stuck in the back of my throat for like a couple of days. The podcast is the Kinky Tavern Podcast. Okay. Excuse me. I would have so many allergies if I were around that precious baby because I would do all the love she'd allow. I love that. She's just sitting on the floor. She's like, I'm going to resume grooming myself. That's so cute. You're so fucking adorable, dude. It's disgusting. Also, I wasn't able to show you. Her belly fur is like curly almost. It's very weird. Like the rest of her is on normal, but then her belly fur is like a lamb. It's so weird. And she's extra soft in her belly. Let me tell you. And she's permissive about the touching the belly part. Yeah, like she's sometimes she's spicy about touching the belly, but most of the time she's fine. The science aspect of computer science has a lot of fundamentals that have not changed since the originators, like Dijkstra, Wirth, and Boole. They range from the late 1800s with Boole's math to the foundation in the 60s, 70s. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Like the math that gave birth to computer science is older. Well, that makes sense. Sure, that makes sense. How old is Mina? We only just got her about a month ago, so we don't know exactly how old she is, but the vet thinks that she's about a year old, because she had already been spayed. Like, in fact, her belly is still shaved from being spayed. So, like, I think what happened is she probably was spayed, and then that's when she got out. And then allegedly she was like, I guess she was found in an Amazon trailer, like an Amazon truck. And the person who found her tried to keep her, but she wasn't getting along with their other cat. So they were eventually like, oh, we can't really keep her. And they gave her to the shelter. So as far as I can tell, I think she got out while she was healing from her spay. Because like, yeah, her fur on her belly is only like this long. And you've seen her. Like the rest of the fur on her belly is this long. So it hasn't grown back out yet. So yeah, we're guessing based on her age and the fact that she was spayed and everything and like her size and all, we think she's probably done growing, which is hilarious. I posted pictures on my Patreon, and I will continue to post pictures on my Patreon and maybe even little videos of her playing. She has short, stubby little legs and a short, stubby little tail. And it's not like it's been cut or anything. She just is short. She's almost like a dwarf cat. Not quite to that extent, but we were kind of speculating if she maybe is one of those designer kind of dwarf cats, perhaps. But I don't know. Yeah, she's super soft, super long furred. Oh no. Noah says, I thought about turning a Roomba into a lawnmower and eventually realized that that was a Darwin Award waiting to happen. Fair enough. That's messed up about the cat being found in the Amazon truck. Yeah, I mean, shit happens, you know. I think she got out and she got into a place and got stuck there. And yeah, the person who had her for several weeks before giving her to the shelter was trying to find who her owner was. But I mean, it's entirely possible that she traveled across state lines. Like, I don't know exactly what kind of Amazon truck it was, because this is like literally the person who worked at the shelter was reading all of this off of the phone that she had in her hand to just, you know, like, oh, this is what the person who gave her up to the shelter told us. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she's a munchkin. Yes, she's stubby. She's a munchkin. Thank you, Dali, for the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very pleased. I'm like, I enjoy birthdays. I like being alive. Byron's arriving nice and late. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm having a good birthday. And like tomorrow is also going to be a good birthday because I'm on Calling It Now with Jimmy, and we're going to plug my birthday the whole time we're on that call-in show. And Friday's going to be a good birthday because I'm taking the day completely off. And Saturday's going to be a good birthday because I'm hanging out with my partner and my friend, and we're going to go bowling and eat cannoli. It's going to be good. Yeah. Imagine taking a nap in a truck and waking up in a different state. True. You know what's really interesting is when we first got her, she wasn't really interested in boxes. She's kind of getting better now, but she really enjoyed brown paper bags and playing in them and stuff, but she did not like boxes. And I was like, I wonder if that's because she was stuck in a trailer with boxes. But now I got this chair delivered. This is like one of the things I bought for myself recently. It's one of those chairs with the lower platform in the front so that you can cross your legs and not fuck up your hips and lower back. But it's a large box, and so we have that propped up on its side right now with two of the flaps in like this. So there's a gap here. And she really likes ambushing us from the inside of that box. She's like, I'll get you. I don't know if you could see my arm. I was like, reaching outside. And like, you know, you can like, there's like the flap right here, and you're kind of like, you know, playing like around the circle. And she's like, ah. I used to be so fire at bowling. It's really fun. I actually bought myself a pair of bowling shoes because the leather bowling shoes at the bowling alley are too fucking hot. And we only went bowling like one time since I got my new bowling shoes. So it's been like a few months since we've gone bowling. And I'm excited to do that again. It's going to be fun. My bowling ball is sitting next to my front door all alone. I saw there's a really cool... There's a lot of really cool bowling alleys in the Portland area. Like, frankly, there's a lot of really cool ones. And I was looking around at all these different bowling alleys, and then I watched a video on YouTube that was like a bowling tips video, and I was like, wait, that's one of the bowling alleys that I was looking at. Like, that's one of them. That's crazy. The bowling shoe rentals are ass. Yeah, they're just hot. I overheat while I'm exercising. So, yeah, I have to do all these things to keep myself from overheating, and that's one of them. So I got my own bowling shoes. My partner got his own bowling ball. I got my own bowling shoes. Together, we have a full bowling set. Yeah, they're fucking leather. Those shoes are like literally leather. Hello, Elizabeth. Welcome in. We are about to wrap up. It is like, I've been doing this for 3 hours now. I want to try to see if I can get my cardio exercise in before I have therapy later. So yeah, it's going to be all kinds of... I've been so fucking busy today. I slept like shit, and then I had to drive really far to go do that thing that I did this morning, and then fucking drive back, and then fucking this, and I took a shower, and I got to exercise still, and I got therapy. Sadly, I would probably have to get my finger holes rebored on my bowling ball. I got it back in my 20s. But you've been on hormones since then, right? So like maybe you've grown, but your hands are probably daintier now. Also, it might be a good 5 pounds too heavy now. Hell yeah, estrogen. Fuck yeah, dude. You might have talked about it earlier, but how did classes talk go? Or is that later? So basically the updates right now is I am in the process of doing the placement tests. I basically was able to do a self-placement for the English classes. And I'm waiting to like take the actual placement test for math classes. I probably will have to take a not remedial, but I'll probably have to take a prerequisite math class. And it looks like with the FAFSA plus state grant, I probably will be able to just cover the entire first year, even doing like 19, 20 hours, credit hours. We had a long conversation where chat was repeatedly telling me how fucked up and insane it is that I'm probably going to do 20 credit hours. And I know that. So yeah, I still need to talk to my partner about it and, make sure that we're going to have, the right circumstances and support around that potentially. So it's still kind of, we're working on things. It's up in the air, but progress is being made incrementally. And it does seem like I'm qualifying for some student aid. So that would be great. Later, Drea, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for donos. I appreciate you. Did I miss announcement about the new shows you're going to be doing on the line? Oh, well, we haven't really had like any official announcements yet because we are about to have an all hands meeting in the next week or two where we talk about those things and commit to them. It's likely that I won't be on camera more. I'm probably going to just be producing more. So like we're probably going to be adding like a regular Saturday show. So I feel like knowing the other two producers, I'm probably going to be the one producing the Saturday show. So I'm basically like adding one work day per week probably. But we don't have like confirmation on any of these things yet. Thank you, Nathan, with the $10 super chat right at the end of the stream here. Feliz cumpleaños. I loved that hang up at the end of the calls on chewed gum. That was brilliantly timed and delivered. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciated that. I normally don't interject that way. I'm supposed to let the hosts do their thing, but we only had like 15 minutes left in the show to do all of our super chats. So I was like, yeah, thank you. I'm glad that you thought it was funny. Especially because I was like, I've listened to both of these calls and I think I know what to say to be like, maybe this will address his concerns. But he was so worked up that he was then like arguing with me. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Boop. I hung up on him. Sorry, Brandon. Not sorry. Let's go, Brandon, or whatever. If producing is what you prefer, then yay. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. At this point, Dizzy, my schedule with the line is every single week I'm doing Calling It Now with Jimmy Snow on the line, the politics one. So every single week I'm doing a camera appearance, and then usually 2 times a month, if everything is working in an ideal way, 2 times a month I'm going to be on Takis. So you'll still see me 6 times a week on the line and at least 4 times a month on my channel, even if I scale back to once a week, which I'm probably going to do, but like maybe not immediately. Yeah, so you see plenty of me, and there's going to be clips. Like I'm being a little bit lazy right now about updating clips, but there's still going to be clips coming out regularly on my channel. Yeah, that was from last night, the Bastille. It was on Chewed Gum. If you watched the previous couple of weeks, I can't remember which show it was exactly. On a previous show, Brandon called in to argue with Alyssa about her video where she made a video popular that like is playing on this popular idea that the beauty standards for women are pedophilic. Like, if you're attracted to women, if you're exclusively or primarily attracted to women who are small, diminutive stature and hairless, then that's your beauty standards are being influenced by pedophilia. And so Brandon took issue with that and was like, well, I'm 18 and I'm small and skinny and hairless. Does that mean that anybody who's attracted to me is a pedophile and I need to be worried about it? And it was just really frustrating. Both calls were really frustrating. The first call ended because he was like, someone just walked into my room and I need to leave now, hanging up now. And I'm like 90% sure it was his mother. I think he's 18 and still living at home. That guy was just not getting it. The discussion went full 360 circle like 3 times. Yeah. And finally, Alyssa was like, it's not about you. Can you just accept that you're making this about you and it wasn't about you? Yeah, the video she made about him. I do think it would be very funny if in the future she put in the captions of her video or whatever, like, you're like, this video is not about Brandon or something. I think it would be hilarious. And yeah, by the end, he was like laughing, and I agree. It seemed kind of like he was just trolling. William, what's up? I'm literally like, I should be gone by now, but I'm entertained by talking to you guys. So my partner apparently watches the line, which blew my mind. Not gonna lie, he wanted to call in until he realized his English isn't good enough, so will make his points sound not as intended. Yeah, I do. I have so much respect for people for whom English is their second language, but I really can't deal with the number of thick, like, for example, Indian accented folks that we get calling in. I'm like, plus the shitty phone quality, like the audio, because the call-in studio has its phone quality. It's like the combination of those things. Boy, howdy, does it make it fucking hard to understand folks. So I'm sorry he can't call in, but I respect it. How soon do you take those placement exams? I am supposed to get a link to take the math one, like, probably in the next week, because I just did basically it's like, do the writing placement, and then we'll send you a link to do the math placement. I'm like, okay. So I'm just waiting. That's what a great thing. I'm like waiting for my FAFSA results, waiting for the placement test. That's the time of year that we're in. He has a really thick Quebecois accent, although is an audio engineer, so sounds clear. Well, it doesn't even matter if you're an audio. Well, I guess, if you're Canadian, you can call on the web caller, and that might have better call quality for sure. Yeah, okay. So Viren says all of the chatters who were saying that I'm crazy for potentially even considering doing 20-hour credit hours, says they not wrong, but I will also say that introductory courses are not usually that bad, so 20 upfront may work and gives you plenty of space to drop if you need to. Yeah, the general vibe that I got was that first year classes are not necessarily as difficult, but also that some courses will give you like a lot of coursework up front to weed out the weak ones. So yeah. And if I do the first term and I'm like, oh shit, this isn't working, then I can scale it back. We had this one girl back in college that everyone hated because she signed up for everything that she thought was interesting, but then dropped whatever she didn't like after the first class. But she had already taken the spot, so other people couldn't get in. Wait, I thought that the whole way that it worked was that you can like enroll later if you don't get the class that you wanted, if somebody drops it. Like, I thought that was the whole point of someone dropping within the first however many weeks of the class starting. Like, if you drop it in the first week, does that spot not just open up for someone else? I don't know, maybe. For reference, grad school full-time was 9 hours. Yeah, but also your grad school, like yes, okay, yeah. So it's like still relatively intense. But it's like, yeah, it's like intense because you're like spending even more time. Someone earlier was like, rule of thumb, it's like 3 hours per week for each credit that you're taking. Yeah, so I don't know. And then I Googled it and it was like between 2 and 3 hours. And I was like, look at that. You could be optimistic and say it's only 2 hours per credit. There's a wait list. If you drop before the deadline, then someone will get the spot. Yeah, that's how I don't know anything about college. I did 2 semesters of technical school. That's it. I don't know anything about college. Okay, anyway, I need to get the fuck out of here. I gotta do other stuff, and then I got shit to do later. It's literally 5 o'clock, and I'm still like, yeah, I got shit to do. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I feel adequately celebrated in my birthdayness, and now I'm ready to go hug my partner. So, snap, 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 snaps. Thanks everybody for your advice. And for being really chill. And for listening to me talk about dumb shit that only matters to me. Alright. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be on Calling It Now with Jimmy tomorrow, and I'll tag in the Discord if you want to see me. So, bye.